14-0 on the year. They're taking on the Clinton-Massie High School Falcons. They come into this contest with a record of 12-1 on the season. My name is Steve Brown. My partner for tonight's broadcast is a young man who's had a house with many rooms. At his age, he's gotten a smaller house with less rooms, so he doesn't get lost trying to find the bathroom. He's participated in many big games and has made a return to a few venues in his day, but none bigger than a Stack's return. He's been together, he and I, before for lots of different broadcasts, and now we're like family. You know, me, the young kid, and he like a grandpa figure to me. He is so old, he's in the Hall of Fame, and we're happy to employ the elderly tonight. He is Coach Greg Schaffner. Welcome back to exciting coverage of high school playoff football on the Fairfield County Sports Network, Coach.
Well, it's great to be here.
I know.
Oh man, thanks for having me. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We're excited to watch a fun-filled game here at Jonathan Hall High School. We want to thank our Jonathan Hall hosts, Scott Pepper, for everything they've done for us. We're here for communications of the week. Send a special shout out to all of us. Great opportunity, great venue here.
This is really good.
No question about it. It is a cold one. At last check, 28 degrees. Not a whole lot of wind, I don't believe. A little bit, not a whole lot. I don't know if that will affect Carroll's passing game at all, but I did notice, I think every player had gloves on, and it's a cold one. That's not chilly. It's cold out there. And so we'll see if that impacts the game at all. We want to say a special thank you to our sponsors, Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Buckeye Lake Marina Park National Bank, Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Price Custom Homes, and sponsoring our Raising the Bar player of the game is the Bickford Retirement Center. We're going to take a break, say thank you to those sponsors, and when we come back, tell you about Clinton-Massie Falcons and Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs. It's a Division IV state semifinal football contest live from Jonathan Hall High School on your source for Fairfield County High School sports. We are the Fairfield County Sports Network. Have you read that when we come back? Just go ahead and read it. After the Buckeye
I think I'm Massey this stage to what they do, and they're patient with it. I think they're going to have some success tonight. But you know, if we get a little impatient, we start to throw it a little bit like we're not used to. What's going to happen? We'll see.
We'll see if they got to the game. What happens if we want to talk about
.922. And then from then on, you can see Coach Graves, it looks like 44-17, 42-69, 42-79, 70, and so on and so forth. The points have come aplenty.
Yes, they have here with Massey this year. It's just who's going to get the ball most tonight. I mean, you got a four-headed monster back there with Cody Zantini, Trampler, Carter Frank, and Carter Van Hoos. I mean, who's going to do it tonight.
Yeah, we'll be interested to see what Cody Zantini plays, what role he plays in the run game with a shoulder that we saw take a hit, a pretty bad hit actually at the end of the game last week that actually saw him carted off. We'll see how much he's able to run, or is he just simply going to hand the ball off to the, we'll call it the three-headed monster at that point of Trampler, Van Hoos, and Franks. So Massey was able to go 5-0 in the league, did have a close game against Western Brown, who went on to the regional championship, lost to Granville, who's on the road tonight. So congrats to Western Brown for a great season. But we come into the playoffs beating Northridge, Waverly, Wyoming at the time, #1 team in Division IV in the state. And then last week, a tough game against Archbishop McNick. Tell us a couple thoughts about the game you saw last week, Coach Graves.
Well, I tell you, it came down there late. McNick never gave up. They fought the whole time through. And luckily, we stayed true to what we are. We didn't get out of what we like to do. We kept continuing to run the football. We had a great stop there defensively at the end of the game, and then they decided to go for two, and we had the big stop there. So it was a very exciting game. I think it was one of those type of games that these guys need to keep going on.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I don't want to say like a wake-up call,
yes,
but it kind of, keeps them back in, fired up more about it. So
exactly. We're going to take just a moment and break for the national anthem. We'll come back on in just a moment.
Division 2. Yeah, this is Division 4. So, a pretty significant deal. And I believe only lost by a touchdown. We're going to take a break, say thank you to our sponsors. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Thank you to the Clinton-Massie band for playing the national anthem. And as I say many times over, if you like your freedom, then thank a veteran the next time you see him. So we appreciate that rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. So back to football. Coach Graves, we noticed last week, like you said, a tough victory that maybe, as you pointed, and I understand your wording, maybe a little bit of a wake-up call to say, hey, there's a lot of teams that game could have gone ugly pretty quick. They scored two quick ones. They were actually driving in for a third before the interception that was returned almost to the 50-yard line. So, it was good for them to kind of say, hey, we've got to make sure we take care of business from the word go, and then keep the foot on the gas the whole time.
Oh, absolutely, and that's something they're going to have to do tonight with this Bloom-Carroll team, I'll tell you.
Yeah, what's interesting is points for 588 for Clinton-Massie, points against 211. So you do notice that there are more points being scored by Massey, but also more points being given up. Is there any concern in your mind with that stout defense that if they can't move the ball, they're going to be able to, hopefully hold Alder's offense to a reasonable amount as well?
I'm not too concerned with that a little bit. I think they're locked in defensively. I think Clinton-Massie is. These coaches do a great job of preparing these guys for these games and stuff. They were in there early this morning with their walkthrough. I had a chance to watch it a little bit before basketball practice. These guys are zeroed in. They're ready to go. Yeah,
no common opponents, as he said, so we're going to just have to take this game from the first snap and see how each one defends each other and how the offenses can go against the defenses. As we said, both stout defenses are going to try to hold the line as quick as possible. Now, you do see a more balanced attack from Bloom-Carroll, where Massey is heavy run, very little passing that you're going to hear called from the Massey sideline. But Carson Van Hoos leads the way for Clinton-Massie, having over 2,081 total yards for the year, all-purpose yards. He's followed by Carter Frank with 1,310, and then Colton Trampler by 1,082. So that's your three-headed monster. Potentially put Cody Zantini at 533 as well.
Yeah, I mean, you look at these stats, especially in the playoffs here. I mean, Carson Van, who's right now in playoffs alone, is averaging 15 attempts a game for 139 yards and 2.5 scores. That is very impressive. But the thing is, you focus on him, you got Carter, Frank, and Colton Tramper that are going to do damage right after him. So.
Absolutely, and we said a balanced attack because Bloom-Carroll does like to throw the ball a little bit more, especially more than Massey. So we see through the playoffs they've had one game with 16 attempts, one game with 29 attempts, one game with 20 attempts, and one with 17. So that's your average of 20 attempts a game at a roughly 125 average with one touchdown through the air. Something I did notice is a little bit of a turnover conversation I'd like to have with you before the game starts, which we are going to start in about 5.5 minutes. But it does look like they've had a few fumbles and a few interceptions. In fact, for the year, the defense has been able to get 14 interceptions and 10 fumble recoveries, but the offense have given up 4 interceptions and 10 fumbles. Is it one of those games where it's just going to come down to a turnover?
I think so. You took the words right out of my mouth, Pat. I was going to look forward to that conversation later in the broadcast, but let's talk about it now. Yes, they have been prone to cough up the ball, Bloom-Carroll here recently in the playoffs, averaging about 1 a game. So could that big turnover be what Massey needs tonight to seal the victory?
Yeah, to touch base on their game last week against St. Clairsville. So Bloom-Carroll beat a very tough St. Clairsville. In fact, St. Clairsville is one of the teams that Clinton-Massie beat to win a state championship. I believe that was in 2012. And last week had a good game against them, held them to 3 points. So again, that stout defense coming through for Bloom-Carroll and caused 2 turnovers in the process as well. There was 2 interceptions for the Bloom-Carroll Bulldog defense. So talk a little bit about your thoughts compared to the game you saw from Clinton-Massie last week.
Well, you talk about with Colton Tramper last week, he had 17 rushes for 130 yards and 2 scores. Carter Frank with 15 carries, 127 and a touchdown. Van Hoos with 14. So between those 3 guys, Coach Zantini's doing a great job of distributing it even, it looks like, across the
evenly,
board,
yep.
And which I love. But if you go back to 2019 to find a game
where Carson Van Hoos
did not rush for 100 yards.
And somebody else did,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
somebody else did.
And that's amazing. You got to go back that far to say this is the one time that you're going to see it in the playoffs, especially where you had a couple 100-yard rushers and one of them wasn't Carson Van Hoos.
Absolutely. I'd like to see him get loose tonight.
Yeah, Carson
Van
Hoos on the loose. So defensively, who led the Falcons last week?
Nate Wildermuth played the game of his career last week.
Unbelievable.
Honest to goodness. He had 12 tackles, 11 of them for solo, and 5 TFLs, tackle for loss. I thought the young man played phenomenal last week, and that'll be a game he'll remember.
It seemed like he was everywhere. It seemed like no matter what play they ran, it didn't matter if they tried to run to the boundary side or the wide side. He was making all the tackles.
Yes.
It was great. I mean, he's got tons of help. Massey flies to the ball, which is one of the things that Coach Bartholomew says that he appreciates about his Bloom-Carroll team is their relentless effort. Relentless effort is the term that they use. But I think Nate Wildermuth, along with Braden Rolfe, have just really come on, especially in this playoff run.
Yes, absolutely. Between those 2 guys, they're very smart kids, too, when they got out there and run the defense with Coach Rolfe, wanting to change up things here and there. But those 2 guys are 2 really smart defenders that you need out there.
And what's interesting is I saw that the yards given up by Massey was 202 in passing, 147 in rushing, which are just about the averages that you see, and maybe a little bit more out of Bloom-Carroll, and that even balance kind of approach. So it seems like this might play well for Bloom-Carroll's offense to say, well, if you're willing to give us a couple 100 yards in passing, we'll take it. And then when we can squeak out a few yards on the ground, we'll take that as well.
Absolutely. And I think, when I've talked with the coaches, I get to talk to them every morning when I'm in school, and they are kind of worried about the pass game as far as they do. Bloom-Carroll does a lot of bubble screens and quick slants and stuff, and they do have a really good receiver in that Bo Weiscarver, who watch out for that number 1 tonight. He's a 2-sport athlete and just a player.
Yeah, we'll talk about that conversation I got to have with Coach Bartholomew. So Wade Bartholomew is in his 7th year as head coach here at Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs. He's actually the son of a coach. His father is on staff with him and runs his offensive line. So his career record is 77-44, but some of that is from other schools. He was a head coach for a couple years at Huntington Ross. He was at Gallia Academy, and then he was also at Logan Elm. So at Logan Elm, I'll tell you what, we are.
This place is rocking,
check.
baby.
Yeah, it's definitely. Give us 1 second while we catch up here.
Hey, Rick, my headphones are out.
Check 1.
tell you what, this is a great atmosphere tonight, Falcon fans. Both teams just took the field. I don't think there's a few seats available left over there on that Massey side. I can't really tell. But they've come out tonight ready to cheer on these guys. So we need you at home tonight, too.
Okay, apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. A little technical difficulty bringing the headphones back up to speed here. So as Coach Graves said, not a lot of seats left, especially on the visitor side for Massey. And I passed through the home crowd here, which is the Bloom-Carroll side on the home side of Jonathan Alder Stadium, Performance Honda Stadium, and it's packed, and they're excited to be here. Both teams, again, Bloom-Carroll haven't been in this very game, the state semifinal game last year, losing to Lake Catholic, which we'll talk about at some point. And then you've got Massey, who would have to go back to 2017 when they were in the state semifinals, and then eventually the state final game and a loss to Steubenville. So Massey returning after an absence of a few years. Bloom-Carroll's just back doing it all over again.
Yes, they are. I mean, let's see where we're going here.
Yeah, Clinton-Massie is going to take the field and set up on the 40-yard line for the kickoff. That's Ian McGinnis along with the kick coverage team. They've added a few people, as we noticed in the broadcast last week, where Carson Van Hoos, Blake Ireland are now on the kickoff return. I think they're adding some speed and some high-level tackling on that end as well.
Absolutely, they are. That was some discussion that I've been able to listen to with the coaching staff this week. Yeah, absolutely.
Kickoff returners should be Bo Weiscarver and Dylan Armentrout. So Armentrout back there. They're going to set up at about the 10-yard line. At this point, Ian McGinnis has had the kicking duties all year long, and he's going to drop this one right about the 15-yard line. Looks like a pretend fake. He goes outside of it. He finds an opening on the 30. Only it looks like Van Hoos to beat, and he's going to go all the way down the left sideline. He's going to get, and he is going to score on the opening kickoff. On the opening kickoff, Clinton-Massie gives up a touchdown along the left-hand side. So what you saw, ladies and gentlemen, was a fake handoff. All the coverage team tried to go on the left-hand hash and to the left hash of Bloom-Carroll. They ran down the left-hand sidelines. That's a score and a terrible way to start off the game.
Not well, and I'll tell you, Matt, we just mentioned number 1 Weiscarver as that athlete, and they go to him right away here to start on this kickoff, and unfortunately, Massey's down in the hole already.
Yeah, Massey doesn't have to play behind a lot of times, and unfortunately, it looks like they're going to start this game off on their offensive series behind by what now is 6 points, and after a point after attempt, which is good, it's going to be 7-0 is your score. So concerns right away. If you want to keep doing what you're doing, you can't get too far behind the too far behind the scoreboard in order to stay in your slow, methodical offense. So we'll see what Clinton-Massie's answer is as they set up on kickoff return. But I'll tell you, you can absolutely feel the excitement on this home side, this Bloom-Carroll side, after that touchdown return on the very first kickoff of the game. Unbelievable. We'll get a few starters for you here. It looks like as they set up on defense, Bloom-Carroll will bring out their left corner, Branyan Dodds. Right corner is Broden Bishop. Their strong safety is Bose Weiscarver, who just scored that touchdown. Free safety is Brandon Totten. Their outside linebacker is Nick Toll, who's their leading tackler. Another outside linebacker will be Chase Plants. Andrew Marshall will be inside. Dozier will be inside. And their defensive line is anchored by Luke Farrell, who's a nice-looking gentleman who's got a ton of stats to back up. He's actually one of the best tacklers in not only the team but the league.
Yes, he was a defensive player of the year in their area in the Lancaster Gazette that I was reading here just the other day.
Trayton McKee kicks the ball to Carson Van Hoos. He finds an opening on the left-hand side, and he's going to be brought down at about the 27, 28-yard line to start this Clinton-Massie drive. So as you mentioned last week, there's a little bit of growing up to do, we'll say, during the game because it didn't go exactly the way they wanted it to. So we'll see if that has played out for them, being down 1 score and in their first offensive possession here for Clinton-Massie.
Absolutely. I think this is a big drive here to start off with Massey. Try to flip this field a little bit too.
Yeah, it's going to be very important, not just to try to score points, but like you said, at least cross the line of the 50 and try to flip this field. So out of a split-back set, because to Carson Van Hoos, he's not going to find much room. In fact, only just a yard or two, maybe. In fact, just 2 yards off the right-hand side. A little bit different look there, set up in a split backfield with Colton Trampler as your fullback, Carson Van Hoos as your tailback. So just a 2-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 8. Up front, it looks like you've got number 50 that's Aiden Kirby's going to anchor part of that line. 71, we mentioned, is Cale Craner. And it looks like on that right-hand side, 61 is where you'll see Luke Farrell. So that's to the offensive left side. Double slide as you look. Single receiver to the left. Carter Frank goes in motion. Colton Trampler with
There
a
we
hard
go.
run. That's going to be a long run for second down. It looks like it's going to be third and probably about 2.
Great job on that left side there that time. I thought that down blocked, obviously got to the linebacker second level and was able to free up Trampler a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like a quick kick out and Trampler up the left side of the center there. So it's going to be third, and it's actually going to be 3rd and 1, which Coach Bartholomew said, we need to keep them off schedule, make sure they're not in the 3rd and 1s because they're going to be able to get those pretty easy. It looks like Colton faked the handoff, and it looks like Cody Zantini's going to go second man through for the first down on that. So it's going to be a new set of downs starting at about the 39-yard line.
Absolutely. Let's keep an eye with Cody a little bit too. If he starts to get banged up a little bit early, let's see if we don't re-aggravate anything.
He's had an issue with his left hand, that left hand wrist area. He's had an issue with his left shoulder. A couple times that's been diving into the end zone or finishing a play in the end zone. So we'll keep an eye on that, like Coach Graves said. So now double slot, single receiver to the right. Carson Van Hoos goes in motion. He goes to Colton Trampler, a nice hole there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be a strong 4-yard run to start off this series. It's going to be 2nd and 6.
That was a great pull there, but I want to say Owen Trick pulling there on the left side. Student body left was nice.
Yeah, and Trick has been doing a great job, as well as Adam Frisch Juniors that have had to start all year that's been stepping up. And, again, just as the playoffs continue, it seems like this young line or parts of the line that's young seem to be getting better, where Scholes and Vance have some experience already. Double slide as you look. Carson Van Hoos goes, and he gets the pitch. He's around the right-hand side, but there's going to be a tackle in the backfield. Bloom-Carroll sees that play coming, so number 4 on that play is Brandon Totten, which Coach said is their glue that holds the defense together. One of their leaders from the safety position, the free safety position, comes downhill immediately and meets Carson Van Hoos behind the line of scrimmage. So that's going to be a loss of, it looks like 3, so it's going to be 3rd and 7, so you're off schedule again.
Absolutely. I just think that speed there could play a factor tonight defensively for Bloom-Carroll.
Yeah, in the first series, you're going to see right away if Massey's going to be able to get outside, and that's a huge part of their game. So if they can't get outside with only 7 seconds left, they'll see if they're able to get this play off. Blake Ireland gets out of the huddle,
I don't know
goes
if
to
they're
the
going to
left-hand
happen.
side.
They're going to call timeout.
Yeah, they're going to kind of call timeout, and everything going right now for Bloom-Carroll. You score on the opening kickoff return. You put a couple plays together behind the line of scrimmage to get Massey off schedule. Now it's going to be 3rd and 7. You take your first time out within the first, it looks like 3, almost 4 minutes of the first quarter.
And just coming from a coach's standpoint here, this is a great timeout by Coach McSorley here. Let's not rush anything. Let's get the guys over there, relax a little bit, breathe a little bit. And right now these guys are probably a little nervous, let's be honest. Got that little feeling in their stomach. We've all been there as past athletes. So great call by Coach McSorley here. Let's focus, let's regather, let's get a good play call here and see if we can maybe even go on 4th and 4th.
So even if the even if the players haven't had this experience of being in semi-final playoff football, the coaches have, and they know what the ebbs and flows of a game happen, the ups and downs, and you've had something big happen to you right away. It started off the game, so now how are you going to react to that? And Clinton-Massie is going to set up this particular play on the 42-yard line. They'll be on the right hash. It's 3rd down and 7. Double slide as you look. Single receiver to the left, which is Blake Ireland. Carter Frank goes in motion. The snap. Dawson Conley's open. He's going to catch the ball up the right-hand side. He's to the 30. He's to the 20. He goes out of bounds at the 17-yard line. So a nice play by Dawson Conley with the catch. Cody Zantini with the soft touch right over the head of one of the defenders there, and that's going to be a long gain on 3rd down. Now you're right back on schedule with 1st and 10.
Absolutely. Nice little fake there by Cody. Wasn't like the real big boot that they like to do, but it was just enough to freeze everybody.
Lex Russell comes into the game this time. It's going to be a double tight end look. So we're going to set up at the right hash on the 22-yard line. It's going to be a wishbone backfield. Colton Trampler is your fullback. Carter Frank is your back, as well as Carson Van Hoos to the left-hand side. Cody Zantini under center of the snap to Carson Van Hoos. The right-hand side is a little opening. The ball's on the ground, and it's going to go to Bloom-Carroll. So a fumble recovery by Bloom-Carroll as Massey was going into the south end zone. And, again, everything going right for the Bulldogs at this point. You're living life in the good side there. And I'll tell you, that's something you don't get because, we just don't turn the ball over very much, and we certainly don't fumble.
No, that's
unbelievable.
Yes, that one's hard to believe there, Matt.
Yeah, like you
I'm
said.
looking at the stats real quick. That's the first fumble, and I know at least in the playoffs. it could even go back into the regular season for sure.
Yeah. So again, how are you going to react as a defense? So if I'm an offensive coordinator, if I'm Bloom-Carroll, I'm opening up the playbook big on this after a turnover. To the right, KJ goes and throws an interception almost by Blake Ireland. So he tips the ball down. He almost picked that and went to the house for 6, but it does cause a 2nd down and 10.
Absolutely.
So, your offensive starters, KJ Benedict, is going to be the senior quarterback who is the clear leader of this offense, not necessarily by emotion and loudness. He is that guy that just works hard, comes, does the right thing, stays late, starts early, and the coach has nothing but extremely nice things for number 17. Benedict's going to get his offensive set. It's going to be a trips right, single receiver to the left, one running back to the left. He's going to motion his up man back.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of movement on the right-hand side, which is going to bring that ball back just a little bit farther closer to the end zone line. So a false start penalty on Bloom-Carroll. Still going to have a 2nd down, but now we're going to be 2nd, and it looks like probably about 17 or so. 15, sorry.
Big here for Clinton-Massie. Be curious to see if Bloom-Carroll's going to throw it or run it. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get out of the shadow of the end zone here. I would imagine they'll try to run this one. It looks like KJ Benedict's going to go under center for this particular snap. Try to keep it close to the chest here. The ball is set at the right before the 5-yard line. Running back behind him, 2 receivers to his right, 2 receivers to his left. Actually stays in a shotgun snap. The snap goes, the fake, the bubble screen outside, wide open, and Blake Ireland makes a great play upending the receiver on the right-hand side, and unfortunately for that receiver, it looks like he took a little shot to the knee, and that's Bo Weiscarver, who got the completed pass, started upfield, but was upended by Blake Ireland pretty quickly.
Oh, Blake did a great job of taking on the block, getting rid of him, coming up and making the stick. This could be a big injury here for Bloom-Carroll.
Yeah, he'll come off to the sideline, but he's running off on his own power, just has a little bit of, I think he might have taken a shot near the stomach. So he's gonna set himself and probably be back in just a moment. The referee is going to stop play in order to reset the ball, make sure that the play clock is ready to go. And that is going to be no further than just the 5-yard line, so there's no gain on that play even with the completed pass. 2 receivers are set up to the right, 2 receivers set up to the left. A single running back will be on behind. So it looks like we're looking at a time clock issue right now. 8:07 is your time left in the first quarter with your score 7-0 Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs on a kickoff return touchdown. Looks like they look to the sideline for the play. So Bloom-Carroll runs that offense where they're going to check with the coach, and he's going to make his protection call up at the line of scrimmage. They change the protection just a little bit, does Clinton-Massie. The snap goes this time to the running back, and Leighton Bell stops him immediately. Looks like that was probably 15. Yep, Dylan Armentrout.
Great job by Leighton there. Coach McSorley emphasizes to his guys up front, they've got to be able to shed blocks all the time, and if you can't do that, you may not be playing.
So let's be smart here and not rough the punter. So, again, I say don't rough the punter. If I need to tell him one more time, hey, don't rough the punter.
That's right.
Yeah. The snap, the kick. He's going to fair catch it. Looks like Carter Uten fair catches it at the 37-yard line, pushes one of his own players out of the way to make sure he doesn't have any problems, giving that ball to the referee. So it's going to be Clinton-Massie ball at the 37 on the left-hand hash. And you know what? You get out unscathed. In fact, you're able to stay on this side of the 50. So, of course, you'd wanted to score. You don't want to give up a fumble because it's a mental issue as well. But now you're back on offense, and you're set, and you're ready to go here back towards that south end zone.
Absolutely. No damage done here. Falcons are still in great spot here. So let's see what we go to.
Single receiver to the left. Ball goes to Colton Trample, and he goes absolutely nowhere. Stood up immediately by about 3 Bloom-Carroll defenders, led, by the way, on number 71, Cale Craner is your lead tackle on that particular play. So that ball is going to be placed right back at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Very stout up front, it seems like right now, although there's been some success running the ball. The longest play so far was actually a pass play for Clinton-Massie, which when's the last time you've heard us say that in a while?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, so it looks like single receiver to the left, a wishbone backfield. The snap goes from Zantini to Carson Van Hoos. He spins to make one person miss and get a couple extra yards on that. So it's going to be 3rd and about 5. So you're not too far out of schedule.
No, not at all. Great push by that whole right side that time, leading with Trick and Dawson Conley there, lined up at the tight end spot.
Zantini seems to want to go over and get each individual play. I don't know if that's is there a reason behind that? You feel like it's maybe just calming everybody down and saying, hey, I'll say it once. We know what we're running. Let's get up to the line and go.
I would agree with you on that, Matt, totally.
Double slot is your look this time. Single receiver to the left. Carter Frank goes in motion. It goes to Colton Trampler. He's stopped, but he is able to dive forward for maybe a yard. He might even, he's going to get 1 out of that. So now it's going to be 4th and 4. So if you're Clinton-Massie, there's no reason at this point not to go for it because you're right out of field goal range. Although Ian McGinnis has done a great job this year, this one might be a little bit too far for him. He's a 1 for 2 in his field goals at this point. So they're going to go they're going to keep the offense on the field. And they're going to bring Cody Zantini and it looks like Carter Uten back out at the receiver position. It's going to be 4th down and a long 4
here,
at this time. So Carter Uten's your receiver on the left-hand side. A quick snap goes to Carson Van Hoos. He's able to find an opening.
First down.
It's going to be close. It's going to be close. I think they're going to go ahead and wave him forward. So he's able to get about a yard, maybe a yard and a half past the line to gain. So it's going to keep moving those chains with 5:14 left in the first quarter and a 7-0 lead by the Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs.
Something I've been noticing here right away, too, here is we're staying a lot of right side dominant right now the last couple plays here, and we're avoiding number 61 a little bit.
Fickle.
They're go-to guys. So
yeah, I would have to think that is by design. Fickle is a strong young man.
Yes, he is.
And these opponents have not seen a lot of success on that defensive side. In fact, 2.8 is your average play for opponents. This time it goes to Carter Frank, and it goes to that left-hand side. He's able to break through just a little bit. He's going to get
another fumble.
The ball's on the ground this time.
And who's got it?
We're going to call this ball on the ground. I think they want to say that his forward progress was stopped. They're going to show the ball and give it back to the referee, so it looks like they're going to call the ball down at that point. Forward progress was stopped, but another coughed-up ball by Clinton-Massie. Roll that clock is what the ref says with 4:38 left. So it would have been a second turnover within the first quarter, and it seems like, is it just nerves, or are they just scraping for the ball?
I'm going to go with a little bit of nerves, to be honest with you, man. I just don't – I've seen these guys all season long play, and it just may be a little nerves right now. It still could be from that opening kickoff right now.
Right. So they're going to go with an offset, looks like a power set to the left, a wishbone backfield. The snap goes to the pitch goes to Carson Van Hoos. He finds an opening on the right-hand side. Gets to the 10. He's up still at the 5 and goes down at the 3-yard line, holding both hands on the ball this time so he can go down at the 3 with a first down run. That was a pitch. So they faked it to Colton Trampler. The pitch immediately had to be put in place because there was a guy right in Cody Zantini's face. So they're able to get a successful pitch off, and that run on the right-hand side is for a first down. It's going to be spotted right about the 4-yard line on the right-hand hash.
Yes, that was a great read there by Cody Zantini.
Looks like a double tight look. Dawson Conley to your right, Lex Russell to your left. Wishbone backfield, Carson Van Hoos. He gets one person hit him, but he's able to fall forward. Now he's going to get down to about the 2-yard line, maybe 2.5-yard line. So it's tough sledding on the inside right now for Carson Van Hoos. Second and goal for the Clinton-Massie Falcons, already down 7-0, 3:26 left on your clock in this first quarter, which is going very, very quickly, especially with the action that we're seeing so far. The ball on the ground by Clinton-Massie so far on their 2 drives with a very successful pass to get them down closer to the line of scrimmage. Going in motion is Carter Frank. He's up against the line of scrimmage. He goes to Colton Trampler, but he goes nowhere. In fact, he's going to lose a yard. And I talked to Coach Bartholomew early in the week, and he said he has a plan to stop Colton Trampler, and he knows that that's just, words. It's got to be put into action. But it seems so far they've had a few successful runs with Colton, but for the most part, he's getting bottled up quickly.
Yep, taking the fullback out of the equation on the option. So,
and we know that Coach McSorley always wants to establish that fullback.
Absolutely.
So this time, the unbalanced line comes to the right-hand side, 4-point motions. Carson Van Hoos gets it. He's stopped again in the backfield. This time he's going to be slung down to the ground with about a 4-yard loss. So The push is just not up
Yes.
front for Clinton-Massie right now. It's all Bloom-Carroll on defense. It's all Bloom-Carroll on special teams. So that's going to force Clinton-Massie to go for a field goal when they're here on the right-hand hash about the 5-yard line. Just doesn't look like.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, no push.
There's no push. All momentum right now with Bloom-Carroll, especially up front. They're owning the trenches right now.
Yeah, it's all purple right now. I mean, a sea of purple as soon as that ball is hiked. The ball snapped. The kick is up. Looks like it's good. No good. No good. Sorry, no good.
Oh,
I didn't see where the ball went to, but it looked like it was through. I'm not sure.
Either. I thought it went through as well.
Yeah, so I guess we'll get some clarity on that, but it looks like it's going to be a turnover on downs after the missed field goal. Bloom-Carroll's going to take over with the ball spotted back for the tee all the way back to the it's going to be to the 20-yard line because of the missed field goal there. So defense comes back out needing to answer after no score given by 2 drives, including a turnover by Clinton-Massie. The ball snapped, fire to the right. Number 28 for the Bulldogs is Branyan Dodds. He's able to get the catch, but not much gain on that. It'll be about a 3-yard gain.
Great job by Connor Uner cutting off his break. He backpedaled, saw the pass come up, stuck it, and then he came up, made the play. It was a great play by Carter there.
You got to think they might be setting the old stop and go here before too long if he bites too hard on that. So the 4 front linemen there for Clinton-Massie, 2 linebackers. Colton Trampler rushes this time. He's able to get some pressure, but it's going to be wide open. Number 28 on the left-hand side. He gets taken down by Keegan Lamb.
I'm not sure if Uten slipped there or if he got pushed. He kind of looked at the official like he got pushed off, but Uten falls down and Bloom-Carroll big plays it.
Yeah, they're going to go right back. Tempo running back to the line of scrimmage. KJ Benedict brings him back to the line of scrimmage, through receivers to the right. The handoff goes to Dylan Armentrott. Armentrott gets a successful run on first down. In fact, the chains weren't even set at this point, so we're going to be second down, and it looks like 5. Yeah, it's like I said, it's all Bloom-Carroll at this point. Trips right, single receiver to the left. The snap, the ball goes to Brandon Dodds. This time it's outside of his reach. So Brandon Dodds is going to miss that one. Carter Uten with coverage on that outside. But right now, I mean, everything's clicking. All cylinders are clicking for Bloom-Carroll. Yeah, so they're thinking that Uten might have slipped on that particular last play. That was the long gain for Bloom-Carroll. And again, if Bloom-Carroll isn't able to score, at least they flip this field. And I'll tell you, if they go up 14-0 in the first quarter, you know, Clinton-Massie's going to have a tough row to hoe there. They fake a jet sweep. Benedict to the right-hand side. Wide open is number 4, but he drops the ball. Oh, it would have been an easy walk-in touchdown for Brandon Totten. That would have been easy score.
That was easy walk-in. We got a gift there. Probably some busted coverage on our end of it. Like I said, I'm not sure what happened there, but it was definitely busted coverage.
Carter Frank and Keegan Lamb discussing it back there, as well as Blake Ireland. But they faked the end around. They faked the end around, and they weren't able to get sorry, we're having some technical difficulties with our headphones, so we're going to continue.
So here we go, 4th down. 5 to go. Bloom-Carroll going for it. Handoff. He's going to be short.
So that is a turnover on downs for Clinton-Massie. So it's going to be first down, Clinton-Massie. They're going to set up the ball at the 27-yard line. So that's a big play by the defense after a successful run. Looks like Clinton-Massie is going to have to set up there at the 27 going left to right, which will eventually be on your TV screen. So we appreciate those joining us here at Campus Nation, campusnation.com, and the Campus Nation YouTube channel. Ball goes to the right-hand side. That's Carson Van Hoos. Carson Van Hoos finds a little room on his left-hand side, and we're going to bring that back up for a 2nd and 7 as we have just 18 seconds left in the first quarter. Second and 7 is your yardage at this point. 4 seconds left. The snap goes off. Cody Zantini gets a run on the left-hand side. He's down the left-hand side to the 50. He's going to go out of bounds very smartly, not taking any extra hits when he doesn't need to. So Cody Zantini's going to expire the first quarter with that run off the left-hand side. It's going to be out of bounds right about the 47-yard line. So nice job by Cody Zantini. While we've got just a second as this quarter changes, we want to say thank you to our sponsors, Sam's Meats. Football fans, stop by Sam's Meats in Wilmington, Ohio, and support a locally owned and operated business. Sam's Meats has fresh chicken, pork, beef, deli sandwiches, and lunch meats. Their meat deals are a great way to buy meat in bulk, helping you save time and money. Dine in and enjoy hot-made hot meals and grill items. Sam's Meats also offers catering, party trays, and homemade desserts. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. And, of course, don't forget the bacon. Liberty Savings Bank can save you time and money with historically low mortgage rates and state-of-the-art online banking. Our team appreciates the coaches, teachers, administrators for the work that they do today to build the leaders of tomorrow. We would like to also thank our employees. They are dedicated to make our community great. Find out what we can do for you at Liberty Savings Bank. So, Coach Graves, I mean, the first quarter expires with Clinton-Massie only down by 7 after a turnover and after a, very, very tough sledding on offense so far.
Yes, I think Bloom-Carroll gave us kind of a gift there late when they dropped that one touchdown pass, and it's helped us out here. So, hopefully the guys stick to it here, and we'll see what we got going in the second quarter.
So they flip sides. They're going to actually mark the ball out at the 50-yard line. So they're on the 50. Cody Zantini hands the ball off to Carter Frank, left-hand side. Find an opening, wide opening, 30, 22, 20,
He's
19,
gone.
18,
He's gone.
5.
He's gone.
Score!
Right.
Clinton-Massie Falcons. Off the left-hand side of that line, right over the strength of their their defensive side. It looks like Carter Frank, after being stopped twice, is able to push past and even push off a defender trying to make a tackle at the last second there. So Carter Frank with the score, going to make it 7-6 with a point after attempt to come.
Oh, that's absolutely huge for Carter Frank to do something like that right now.
Exactly what they needed. Clinton-Massie needed something to go their way, and so far that score would be just what the doctor ordered. So Cody Zantini is up at the tee getting ready to set this. We want to send a shout-out as this extra point goes. Snap, hold, kick, up, and it's good. Shout-out Go Falcons from Jace, Matt, and Izzy Griffin, and Janie and Roni Wallace on Webb Road in Wilmington, Ohio. Those of you that want to send your shout-outs, if you're listening to Campus Nation, please send them at 937-303-8069, 937-303-8069. Coach, I believe you said a couple players on the old basketball team have said they're going to listen to you tonight. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm going to give a shout-out to my boys' basketball team out there right now. I told them that I was going to be on the call with Mr. Baker tonight, and they were fired up for it. So all you guys listening at home, cheer on the Falcons, but make sure you're up early tomorrow. We got an 8 o'clock practice.
And, of course, they're not going to critique anything you say.
No.
I'm sure.
I'm sure they won't.
They're going to say, Coach, you did a great job. I couldn't find a single thing you did wrong. So a little concern here for Clinton-Massie as they set up the kickoff return team. Carson Van Hoop is going to be your closest to the sideline here for Bloom-Carroll and Blake Ireland. And it looks like Nate Wildermuth on there as well, Dawson Conley. Ian McGinnis is going to set this up. The tee goes at the 40-yard line.
I know. We'll see if he's going to do his squib stuff again that they go back to. I don't know if I kick it to 1 or 15 again.
Wise Carver is your guy still back there, so he's come back from the injury. This is going to be low on the ground. It's going to dribble. It's going to go to Dylan Armentrott. Armentrott finds some opening on the left-hand side. He makes 2 people miss. He's still on his feet, but he's going to go down at the 37-yard line. So, something about them so far, you can see that Armentrott averages 14.5 yards every kickoff return, and Weiscarver 16. In this game, that average is going way up because he's already got a touchdown. So it's something we're going to have to watch. If Clinton-Massie continues to kick off as they're, after scores, or maybe they'll get the ball starting the second half, that kickoff coverage team has got something to think about. And you know what I see already? Leighton Bell pumping up his defensive lineman and saying, hey, let's make some difference here. That's a good leader, that junior defensive lineman that started also last year as a sophomore. So starting this time, the pass goes to Dodds immediately. He's going to go down, but they're going to call that – I'm going to see if they're going to call that incomplete. It looks like he dropped the ball as he came to the ground with a nice hit put on by both Nate Wildermuth and Blake Ireland.
Oh, absolutely. Blake comes up, like I said, out of his back pedal, sees it, keeps the play in front of him, makes the good stick, and look what happened. Incomplete. So
and
here we go.
Nate Wildermuth showing himself again already this defensive game here. So this time it's a 2-by-2 set, single running back to the left of the quarterback, KJ Benedict. He calls motion for Weiscarver. The snap, the fake jet sweep. He goes back up on the left-hand side. There's an opening. The ball's on the ground. The ball's on the ground, and it looks like there's going to be a penalty flag. No, I'm sorry, that's a possession flag, and it's going to go to Clinton-Massie.
Falcon ball, baby.
Falcon ball. So it looks like Dylan Armentrott coughs up that ball over to the Falcon sideline, which is going absolutely crazy. So this is where the turn of events may happen for the Falcons. So it's got to come through right now if it's going to happen. It's 7-7, your tie ball game with 11:27 left at the start of the second quarter. So the Falcons are going to take over at the 41-yard line.
Yes, I like to see the Falcons stay true here. I don't think you need to do anything crazy right here. All right. Look at your time still. Run the clock a little bit. Run the football here. I don't think we need to get cute. Stick to what we do.
Like Coach Bartholomew said, the best offense that is by Clinton-Massie. I'm sorry, the best defense is to keep their offense now.
Never mind.
Immediately, Cody Zantini throws it, not listening to Coach Graves at all, to Carter Franks, who completes that catch and is able to go 8 yards for the first down run. It's going to be 2nd and 2. So he basically said, everything you just said, forget that. We're going to throw.
Absolutely, he did. And that's okay. That's
okay.
All right.
Completed.
So. Hey, the clock's still going, Yep. Hey, we'll take that.
Yeah, so staying in bounds, it's going to be 11 minutes left now on the clock as Clinton-Massie sets up in the wishbone backfield, single receiver to the left. Oh, Cody Zantini was actually hard counting them and able to bring them across the line.
I'll say they're going to call it, yeah.
Yep, it's going to be offsides on the Bulldogs, so that's going to be a first down gained by a penalty. Now let's talk about penalties. Coach, I know you brought up some information about penalties earlier. It looks like both teams are relatively low in their penalty count.
Yeah.
And I think
throughout the playoffs, you can look at it here. Clinton-Massie's been penalized 13 times in the playoffs, for 155 yards, but let's get back to the action.
Carson Van Hoos bottled up quickly off the right-hand side of the Clinton-Massie line with no gain on first down.
Yeah, so on average, each team, it looks like you're getting about 3 to 5 penalties per game.
Yeah, so both of them are playing pretty clean, so we're not going to expect that to happen very often. Yeah. So it looks like right-hand side of Clinton-Massie is where we're going to set up on the right-hand hash. Looks like no gain on that play, so it's 2nd and 10. Double slot, single receiver to the left. Carter Frank goes in motion. Ball goes to Colton Trampler, and he gets a good 8 yards on that second down run, so it's going to be 3rd and 2. Hopefully setting up Massey this time in the middle of the field at the 24-yard line.
I absolutely love this. They're going back at number 61 now a little bit, so they're coming to that left side saying, all right. So they must have seen something here to where we can expose.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see. It doesn't look Coach, see if you can see number 19. Do you see a 19 on the defensive side? We are a little bit high up. Yeah, I do see a 19. So Chase Plants is out there. I know
yes.
The coach had mentioned that he was a little banged up and played mainly defense this week. Ball goes to Carter Frank on the left-hand side. There's an opening,
Great
and he
finds
a cutback lane that gives him a first down run. In fact, he's going to gain it by 4 yards, so the chains keep moving.
Keep that clock going. Punch one in here.
Quick score update. Ursuline up on Port Clinton 15-7 in the second quarter. 15-7 Ursuline. So the winner of this game, and it's a shame that one of these two great teams is going to have to, end their season tonight. Both teams 14-0, Bloom-Carroll, 13-1, Massey, deserve to move on, but only one can. Carson Van Hoos on the right-hand side buries his head into his fellow running back, Colton Trampler, to push the pile just a couple minutes or just a couple feet more, as Blake Ireland goes off to the side to get another play, as does Cody Zantini.
It seems like Coach Wolf has done a good job getting on these offensive linemen here these last couple series, because they've come out with a little bit more fire, owning the line of scrimmage now. We're starting to get that push.
Yeah, it seems like there's a push forward. The white is able to get into the purple section, as before it looked like all purple on this side of the line. So off-balance line to the left-hand side. The snap goes to Colton Trampler. The ball's on the ground again, and this time Bloom-Carroll gets the pickup. So we are seeing fumbles all over the place. That time it looked like a bad exchange between Cody Zantini and Colton Trampler. Now the ball goes back to the Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs.
That was one of those where it looks like Cody put it in there to ride it, but then some type of miscommunication.
So unfortunately, you saw a great momentum swing towards the Falcons, now right back the other way towards Bloom-Carroll. So Bloom-Carroll's going to set up their offense on near the left hash. It's going to be at the 14-yard line, 1st and 10. 3 receivers to the right, a single running back to the right of Benedict, the quarterback. He snaps for the ball. He's going to roll right immediately, looking to go long. It goes to number 1, Weiscarver. He's down, but he's going to complete a first down catch and run to the 26-yard line to start this series for the Bulldogs.
Absolutely. KJ was able to get the edge there on a little bit of the rollout and hit his guy downfield. Little miss. All right, Clinton-Massie set.
They're going to go tempo, 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 and this time the ball goes on a jet sweep, but it's going to be stopped because the referee says that there's a false start on the Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs. So it looks like Bloom-Carroll's going to have to reset their offense and set a new play up for another first down run here potentially. But Clinton-Massie, has to be kicking themselves. They've already coughed the ball up actually 3 times. Twice they've lost that fumble, and that's just so uncharacteristic of them.
Yes, that's something we have not seen all year, so it's one of those where, where's the mindset with the guys right now that are dropping these footballs?
Well, one of them has to play defense, and that's Colton Trampler. He steps up to the line. Armin Trott is able to find a small opening. He's going to get back almost to the original first down marker. In fact, about a yard from there to be 2nd and 11.
Great job by Keegan Lamb coming up there from the safety spot, going low to 15 there, kind of get him hobbled a little bit here. 15's off the field right now. Keegan with a nice stick down by the knees.
On average, this team has 438 attempts for the year. They average 6 yards a rush with 187 yards average in a game with 38 rushing touchdowns. So they can run the ball, and they can run the ball
Here
well.
comes the blitz.
So the roll is to the left-hand side, throwing this right-hand quarterback. Goes over top. This time Blake Ireland almost puts it out of bounds. He snaps the ball down to the ground, and the receiver can't come up with it. So looks like it's going to be 3rd down and 11.
What a great break on the ball by Blake Ireland. You've happened to see that a couple times here in the last couple playoff games. He's made some really nice plays defensively of getting his hand in to knock the ball away, and he's continued to step up in big situations.
We appreciate you, those of you that are checking in again, 937-303-8069. We'll get to those shout-outs here just when we get a little break in the action, which this action is nonstop in this second quarter. 7-7 is your score with 7 minutes left in the second quarter. The snap goes to Benedict. He's looking wide on the right-hand side. He throws a little bit of a wobbler, and Carter Uten's able to throw that ball down. He had inside leverage. He had his head tilted back to the ball, so he had every right to the ball as anybody else did. And that was I believe that's number 11 for the it's Andrew Marshall, one of their starting inside linebackers, as well as a junior receiver as well. So they're going to have to punt here on 4th down.
Home crowd was really wanting to kind of get an offensive pass interference call there, but I think I agree with you, Matt. Carter was in great position. He had his head turned around. It was beautiful.
30 punts on the year with an average of 35.4. They have had 1 punt blocked, but it looks like the snap goes. It looks like a little deflection there, so the ball is going to actually stop at about the 42-yard line and roll sideways. Actually goes back to the 40. So it looked like number 62 for the Clinton-Massie Falcons, and we want to get you a get you a name on that. 62 is Marshall Hunter. That's a freshman out there. That he actually didn't look like.
No, that was 42.
42.
That was Roth.
42. That was
Roth.
Okay,
yeah.
Congrats to Braden Roth, the senior.
But it seemed like he got a paw on that, didn't it?
It did. It looked like he was able to get his left hand outstretched, and he knocked the ball, and to where it had a real funny spin on it. It didn't go very far. In fact, the success of that punt would be only maybe 20 yards. First down for the Falcons. So it seems like there's a little bit of a bounce back here. 40 yards, you're getting a short field. It looks like the left-hand side is going to be overstacked there, so it's going to be a pitch to the right-hand side. Looks like Isaiah McCoy with a great block to take his defender out of bounds and give Carson Van Hoos some area to run, which is going to make it a 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, first time I think we've seen that toss play tonight, which I like getting him out on the edge a little bit.
Especially to the short side. That was to the short side. So they're on the right-hand hash. They actually threw that pitch to the right-hand side. McCoy got outside and made a fantastic block to drive his defender out of bounds and give a lane for Carson Van Hoos to run. That may be something the coaches have seen now to run to the boundary side. So this time it looks like the extra support will be behind the line of scrimmage to the left. Carter Frank is bottled up quickly. He needs to go down, and he's able to get back to almost the line of scrimmage, losing at about a yard. But my concern is the ball at this point.
Absolutely. The big number 61 there for Bloom-Carroll. Was it the Farrell kid, beast right there. We didn't get any push there on him. He just makes the play.
Yeah, I mean, Farrell is a stout young man.
Yes, he
There's
is.
No question.
I mean,
what are they listing? They list him at 6'3", 215, and he is every bit of that. I can
absolutely.
tell you from all the way up here. Carson Van Hoos goes in motion. The ball goes to Colton Trampler. He's able to run on a successful third down run to almost first down yardage, but it is going to be fourth down and about a half a yard. So this is exactly what Coach Bartholomew said. We know that inside of the 50 to the end zone, they're going to be a four-down team. He mentioned that specifically. The Clinton-Massie is a four-down team.
Oh, absolutely they are.
And they need to make sure that Bloom-Carroll is able to tackle backwards. That's the quote that I got from Coach Bartholomew, that we're always seeming to have running backs that are able to fall forward. Cody Zantini looks like he's going to call this play from the line of scrimmage. The ball goes to Carson Van Hoos, an opening on the right-hand side, which is a first down. He's going to get that by about 1.5 yards, so it's going to reset the chains starting at about the 29-yard
Absolutely.
line.
Great job by McCoy and Trick and Conley on that right side, kind of pushing everybody down, and man, he just slides right up in there, gets that first. Clock's rolling. We're in a good spot right here. Come away with some points on this drive, which would be nice.
I know Carter Frank's Nana says don't mess with the four-headed monster. She wants to get it back into Carter's hands as quick as possible. This time it's going to go to Colton Trampler, but the pitch goes actually to Carson Van Hoos. He finds an opening on the right-hand side and gets a nice 5-yard run to start this series of downs.
That's a great job there by Cody. Good read by Cody. Pulls it from Trampler and ends it up with the option. Good little gain there to keep going.
Blake Burris watching from Silverwood Farms. Let's go Falcons. Cheering on the Falcons from Waynesville, Ohio, the Rumburgers.
Blake Burris, Cherry Hill, that's my neighbor.
Hey, how about that? Go Falcons. The Sternshires are listening online tonight. We appreciate those checking in, both Dan and Judy Sternshire, stalwarts of teaching for Clinton-Massie local schools. Go Falcons. Shout out to cheerleader Allie Brown from Memes and Boo Kean Fairborn. The play goes this time to Colton Trampler. He's able to find an opening on the left-hand side, and that's going to be a hard second down run that's going to be almost first down yardage. It's going to be another third and probably half a yard here.
Yeah, it's great. Garrett Vance, I think, did a really good job there on 61 that time, matching mano-a-mano. Got enough of push to where we can get right beside that left side and continue this drive. So we got third and short here.
And I've already seen Vance out and making some blocks outside of the tackle box, so he's on fire. That senior wants it.
Absolutely,
he
does. He's really played well in the playoffs here, getting them some pancake blocks here in the last few games.
Cody Zantini calls the play from the line of scrimmage. The snap goes to Carter Frank. The opening off the left-hand side. He finds an opening. He puts
Hey, Nana, he's in, baby.
Nana, he just scored off the left-hand side of the line into the end zone underneath the left pylon. That one's for you, Nana. Nice job, Carter Frank.
Garrett Vance, once again, 61, took a little inside route there, and Garrett locked up with him man on man and just pushed him enough to the inside there that sealed that. So Garrett Vance working on that 61 right now.
You're starting to see that push.
Absolutely.
Starting to see the push. Now, Carter Frank did a great job on
no
his
doubt.
own.
No doubt.
Stiff arm on the right, runs to the left, gets inside that pylon, and that was Let's Go Falcons. The Horners listening from Blanchester. The kick is up, and it looks like it is good, which is going to be a 14-7 lead. So even though everything went right for Bloom-Carroll in the first quarter, the Falcons are in the midst of the second quarter, almost down to 4:45, and they have a 14-7 lead.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of those game of runs you kind of see in basketball a little bit. Massey's got the run now.
Yep.
Let's see how Bloom-Carroll responds to see if they can get any momentum back. You know, that's what I love about the game of basketball. They call it a game of runs. I think football can be a game of runs as well now. And right now, Massey's got the mo.
Well, also want to send a happy birthday to Angie. Love from Vince. Let's go, boys. From Corey Price, our regular cameraman who couldn't make the trip this particular evening. So we appreciate all the work Corey's done for us all year long. So check in if you'd like to. Tell me where you're listening from. Tell Coach Graves if he's down the street from you, and that you're going to have a steak ready for him when he gets home. So 937-303-8069. We appreciate Coach Graves filling in for EJ Lamb, our normal color commentator. Couldn't make the trip as well up here to beautiful Jonathan Alder Stadium, Performance Honda Stadium. If anybody's looking to write checks for a new stadium, I'll definitely take one similar to this one right here.
Oh, yeah. This place is really nice. And I appreciate it, give me the call to do this, man.
Excited.
I'm having a blast so far. It's fun.
Excited. Ian McGinnis with a squib kick. It goes to Dylan Armentrott. Armentrott finds a a wall actually on the left-hand side. He's quickly met by Nathan Wildermuth and a few other, a flock of Falcons, if you will, to be brought down there right at the 30-yard line. So you can even see a little bit in the trajectory of heads on the Bloom-Carroll sideline and running people off the field that they're down just a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great observation there. I was thinking the same thing. You can just kind of tell with these guys in the white helmets right now. They're just not real sure what they want to do.
Yeah, they're going to look for, I'm sure, a successful set of downs to start off or a potential score here, as they got plenty of time with 4:39 left in the second quarter as Clinton-Massie sets their defense. Looks like it's going to be a trips right, single receiver to the left set with a running back to the right-hand side. It looks like Armentrout is back on the field after going off for just a second due to injury. This time the play is going to be stopped and the timeout goes to Bloom-Carroll. So while we have a moment, we're going to give our sponsors some love. Roscoe's Pizza offers over 45 specialty pizzas made with fresh ingredients, including their famous pickle pie, with 2 convenient locations in Corwin and New Vienna. We are a locally owned business that enjoys supporting charitable causes and even names many of our pizzas after neighboring communities such as the Harvey's Burger or the Midland Chicken Parm. Place an online order by phone or become a driver at either location to enjoy a Roscoe's Slice of Life. Crystal Duncan Realtors. Crystal Duncan of Keller Williams Pinnacle Group invites you to give her a call for all your real estate needs, whether buying or selling land, new construction, residential or commercial. With 24 years of experience in the business, she will help you achieve all your dreams. Not some of them, Steve. All your dreams. Crystal is, so if you want to be a 6'5" NBA player, Steve, call Crystal Duncan.
All right.
Yeah.
I can
Crystal
do that.
is a Massey grad and an ex-school board member, so the community means a lot to her. Give Crystal a call today at 937-725-5097. Crystal Duncan, your hometown realtor, where every deal is crystal clear. How about that?
That was really good.
Thank you. So right-hand side finds 2 receivers for the Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs. The ball goes to Dylan Armentrout.
Oh,
he's
great.
brought down immediately by Keegan Lamb, and he's going to
another
actually
great play.
He's hobbling again, so it looks like an ankle maybe. Yeah, he's really tough on that ankle, and it looks like they're going to bring in a replacement for him on the Bulldog sideline, which is number 18. That's Clay Dozer. He runs both at running back and at inside linebacker. So decent amount of two-way players for Bloom-Carroll. Looks like 5 or 6 seem to go both ways.
And I think I'll get back to it here. What my thought after this play.
Looks like right-hand side finds 2 receivers, 1 additional H-back up close to the line of scrimmage. Looks like Dozer is your running back to the left, single receiver to the left, and there's going to be another penalty. So tell us your thoughts.
No, I just see, you alluded to where they didn't want to play that running back number 19, Chase Plants, tonight both ways. But I'm telling you, if 15 can't really go, they may have to reconsider putting them back in there.
You're down to the third
Yeah,
string at
absolutely.
that point. Now, I think they all have, I'm sure, capable backs across.
No doubt.
But if you've got a guy that's been running, and what's his stats? What's Chase Plant's stats for the playoffs?
all through the playoffs, he's averaging 12 attempts per game for 75 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, you leave 12 touches on the field. That's going to be tough to replace. Motion again for the Bulldogs to the left-hand side. The ball goes a fake to Dozier. The pass, a wide open Weiscarver, but he misses the ball, goes right through his hands. It's going to be incomplete. The ball falls at about the 50-yard line. So Carter Frank had given up the inside leverage, but he was right there either to make the tackle or to try to dislodge the ball.
Absolutely. It would have been a big play had they come down with it, but I think we'd have been out there to make the tackle, make them line up again, which would be big.
So this time it's going to be 3rd down and 14. So it looks like the Bloom-Carroll offense needs to stay on the field to keep the Massey offense at bay with 3:42 left in your second quarter. Clinton-Massie sets up their defensive line 4 strong. A 5th comes up to the line of scrimmage, which is Nate Wildermuth. A motion from Bloom-Carroll to the left. 2 receivers to the right. He rolls out to the right. Benedict tries to set his feet. He's able to find a right-hand side opening, but it's only going to be for about 4 yards. So he's going to go back to the original 1st and 10 line of scrimmage on 4th down. It looks like the coach is going to call for the punt.
Yeah, just didn't have anywhere to go there. Massey defense, well disciplined in the back and, in the defensive backfield there. So let's see what happens here.
Nice job by Clinton-Massie to stop any offensive threat there. And this time the ball is going to be kicked from around the 20-yard line. The snap goes up. The kick, this time the ball gets away with nothing in its way. Fair catch by Carter Uten right at the 35-yard line, so no return. The ball is back in the hands of the Clinton-Massie offense with 3:31 left. So 3:31, you'd like to see a Clinton-Massie drive that takes that entire 3:31. First, you got to get the first set of first downs out of your way.
Absolutely you do, and I think we're capable of doing this. I'd love to get another score here would be great. But I think the big more important point is to just take the clock down right now. So.
Yeah, going out of this into halftime with a 14-7 lead is a win in certain levels there. So, quick shout-out. Let's go, Massey. Bring me a win as I recover from back surgery. That's Eric Kratzer. So, we hope, Eric, you get better very, very soon. Let's see if Massey can take care of business for you. The snap, the handoff to Colton Trample. He finds an opening on the left-hand side, drags 2 defenders with him for a 7-yard gain on first down. One of those defenders, number 23, tried to bring him down but rode him for just a little while. That would be Colin Willett for the Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs. Right back to the line of scrimmage, and this is the version of tempo that Cody Zantini likes to run. The snap, Carson Van Hoos goes into motion. Colton Tremblay gets a ball, left-hand side, finds another opening. It's going to be a first down run on second down, so they're going to move the chains as the clock keeps running with 3:04 left. They're going to pause just for a moment to move the chains and start it back up again. A quick substitution on defense, number 75 into the game, Grant Dolan, and off the field comes number 50, Aiden Kirby. Ball goes.
They're going to have us movement. Yeah,
they got movement on. Looks like the offensive line might have just moved a little bit quick there, so they're going to call that a false start, and it's going to move them back and out of schedule there. 1st and 15 is going to be your set now at the 42-yard line. So when Clinton-Massie wanted to run a little tempo, the ball got maybe a little bit in front of them, and it's going to be with 18 seconds left on the clock. The play clock, 17, 15, 10. Snap goes to Carter Frank. Left-hand side is nowhere. He just finds no opening with Totten as another tackle there.
Yeah, he did a great job coming over the top of that, scraping over the top and coming up and making the play. Just got unaccounted for there, number 4.
It looks like he's going to take the alley. So if Carter wants to go outside, he's going to be there waiting for him. They've got to learn and continue to cut it in. And the success that Carter Frank has had has definitely been to the inside of the tackle.
Yes.
Yeah. Clinton-Massie, again, a little off schedule here. Second down. The snap goes to Colton Trampler. He bowls ahead. Bolton Colton gets about 4 good yards, but it's going to be a long third down attempt. In fact, it's going to be 3rd and 11.
Bloom-Carroll's going to choose to let the clock go here with 2 timeouts. You know, some coaches may use them here, may think
try to get
3rd and long, get ball
quick,
back,
yeah.
But they might be okay where they're at as well right now, not try to make a big mistake.
And your 3rd and 11, do you dare to pass, or do you go ahead and try to get at least some positive yardage on this play and then make a decision on what you do on the second? Oh, they are going to pass. Cody Zantini does not have an opening, is pressured, right-hand side, throws it out of bounds, and to a Bloom-Carroll defender, they're going to say he was out of bounds. He actually caught the ball and stepped, and it looked like he stepped out of bounds, but they almost gave him that catch as an interception. Cody honestly should have just ate that one.
Yeah. My big concern was when he took a good lick there out of bounds, too, so he got up, he's fine. So
Clinton-Massie not able to move the ball, not able to successfully because of a penalty, and that's been something that kind of hurt him last week. Had a holding penalty that put him behind the chains, off schedule. And this time the kick is going to go from about the 40, it looks like, 37, maybe 35-yard line. That's Keegan Lamb. The snap, the kick. Keegan, not a long punt, up in the air a long time. The catch by Totten, he fair catches it at the 32, so you still have 110 left.
Hey, if you're Clinton-Massie here, to me, I'm playing everybody back. Let them catch it in front of us. Just come up and make the play. Do not get beat on a big play here. Stay back, keep it in front of you, come up, make the play, make them use their timeouts if need be.
32-yard line is where the ball will rest, so you need to get a 68-yard successful attempt here in 1 minute and 10 seconds. 14-7 is your lead for the Clinton-Massie Falcons as we go into halftime. Looks like Armand Trott is back on the field.
Yes, it is.
Yep, so right-hand side roll is Benedict. He's looking for the long pass. Nobody's open. The ball's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to float out of bounds to no receiver. And everybody comes up out of that. Looks like, okay, big play Gabe is on the coverage there on Totten.
Carter Uten with a nice stick there on the quarterback coming up after he released it. That was well played. Quarterback kind of felt that one a little bit. But he's a tough kid, so he's back up and he's ready to roll.
Yeah, Benedict is good on the run, especially to his right-hand side. He is a right-handed quarterback, so he likes to roll right and look for his receivers down the right-hand side. That time just nobody was open. 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right, 1 single running back to his right. The ball goes to a bubble screen,
throw.
but it looks like Weiscar wants to go out of bounds. He's going to go out of bounds, and honestly, no gain on the play. It looks like maybe a yard, and they're going to give him actually 2 on that, so it'll be 3rd and 8 with 1 minute exactly, 100 on the clock as Charlie Hale sets his defensive teammates in place there. It looks like trips to the left of the wide side of the field, single receiver to the right, so that's Marshall with single coverage here by Carter Uten. They look to the sideline as the clock has stopped because that play went out of bounds. It's 3rd and 8. Benedict comes to the line of scrimmage, sets his protection. The snap, the fake, actually he gives the ball off, so it's going to be a running play on 3rd and 8, which is going to give you 52 seconds left on a running clock now, unless they call a timeout. Nope, they're going to go right back to the line of scrimmage. That's an interesting play call.
Absolutely.
Maybe trying to catch him off bounds.
Massey's going to call one here, I think. Okay.
Yeah, so Clinton-Massie calls a timeout.
Set up
yeah, maybe a return.
Go after it. I don't know what his thoughts are here, but
so while we're waiting for that, we're going to give one last shout out to a sponsor. That's the Bin Boss. The Bin Boss, proud to support Clinton-Massie Falcons. We clean, sanitize, and disinfect garbage bins so they look and smell brand new. Based in Lebanon, Ohio. I know some good people live in Lebanon, Ohio. Family owned. We work with homeowners, HOAs, and municipalities. Our system uses 220-degree water, which we could use a little bit on my feet right now that, and a high-pressure water system with eco-friendly cleaners to remove grime and bacteria. So clean you can't refuse. So clean you can't refuse. And go. It's like you said, Clinton-Massie wanted to set up a punt block. They have no returner.
This is an interesting setup here for their
punt. In 2 of their receivers, and they're going to set up in protection mode now. The snap, a high snap. They don't actually try to block. So
there's nobody back.
Nobody's back. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Steve. I'm not sure exactly what the setup was for that. They didn't go for a block. I guess they didn't want to take a chance that there was a muff catch there. So looks like with 34 seconds left, 14-7 is your score. Clinton-Massie still has 1 timeout. Bloom-Carroll has 2. So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line going from our right to left.
Yeah, I would imagine maybe just a little run up the middle here. I think both teams are content right now to get to halftime.
Absolutely.
I don't think anything fancy here from Massey. And I really don't think Bloom-Carroll would call any timeouts or anything here just to get both teams into the half.
It's 2 hands on the ball at this point. That's all you're hoping for. So underneath center goes Cody Zantini. He's just going to actually kneel it. He's going to hand the ball off to the referee, and they're going to go into halftime happy with a 14-7 score. 14-7 up. Your Clinton-Massie Falcons by 7 against the Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs that are coming in with a 14-0 record, and you can see why they're 14-0.
Oh, absolutely. They came out, ready to roll. They came out, got the early kickoff return. They got a couple turnovers on us. But then Massey just stayed true to what we do. They didn't panic. They fought back in, and they're up 14-7 right now. So.
Yeah, it does look like turnovers are going to be a bigger part of the game than we originally thought. In fact, coming into the game, we mentioned early in the broadcast that it didn't seem like that was going to be a big part of it because neither team did, although Bloom-Carroll's had a tendency to give 1 or 2 up in the playoffs as well. But it looks like that's going to be a conversation piece that we're going to be talking about through the rest of this game.
Oh, absolutely. Both teams are coached really well. You're going to see adjustments made here this second half. I think it's going to be a dandy.
So we want to also make sure that we stay tuned to all the broadcasts of Campus Nation. We thank you for tuning in tonight. Make sure you like the Campus Nation Facebook page and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Campus Nation is your sports broadcast for the 2021 season of club hockey. Face-off between the University of Kentucky and the Ohio State University at the OSU Ice Rink on December 4th. We go live for the puck drop at 12:15. So tune in to campusnation.com or our YouTube channel for all the action. If you're looking to gain exposure and engagement for your business, becoming a sponsor with Campus Nation is a great opportunity to do so. Contact Rick Phillips, our friend Rick Phillips, the great Rick Phillips, the legend in his own mind, Rick Phillips, 937-527-6674 to sign up or message the Campus Nation Facebook page for more information. We're getting shout-outs from everywhere here, so let's go Massey. from the Wolves in Crossville, Tennessee. This is Ashley Miller listening from Connecticut. Go Falcons. We haven't heard Connecticut this year. Bring home the win. Massey from Jenny and Mackenzie in Wilmington. Go Colton Trampler. We love you. Connor and Aubrey Huffman are listening from Mount Victory, Kentucky. I just came back from Kentucky last night. Thank you. Go Falcons from senior cheerleader Isabella Gross is G-Mall calling from Springfield, Ohio. Mrs. Bailey is enjoying the time off and cheering on her former Massey students. So thank you, Shelley Bailey, for checking in. Go Falcons from Miss Ritter, also checking in from the elementary. The Brinks are listening from Oregonia, also checking in from the elementary. Rob and Lori Patton listening from St. Pete, Florida. Lizzie and Brody's grandparents. So we appreciate those Mutersball connected people. Watching on Spectrum, and their announcers are okay, but they sure love us too, Steve. How about that?
That's awesome.
We even tried to listen to your play calls and watch on mute, about a 7-second delay. So we appreciate those checking in at the Campus Nation Facebook page, campusnation.com, and Campus Nation YouTube channel. So Steve and Diane Canby cheering the Falcons on from home. Let's go Falcons. Come on, Clinton-Massie from the Hurleys in Franklin, Ohio, and a little bit of an update. Ursuline 15, Port Clinton 14 with 2 minutes left in the second quarter, which we'll see that one come to halftime here in just a moment. And the halftime here is going to be 14-7. We'll have about a 20-minute halftime as usual, and we're going to talk just for a little bit. What do you think are those conversations that are happening right now in the locker room of Clinton-Massie and in the locker room of Bloom-Carroll?
I'd say if you're in Bloom-Carroll right now, if you're the coaching staff in here, I don't think they're getting yelled at or anything like that. I think it's going to say, hey, guys, let's just go back to do what we do. Mm-hmm. All right, let's clean up some stuff here on both sides of the football. You guys are fine. You're in a great spot. Just go listen to your coaches. They'll make some adjustments and go. Now, if you're on the Massey side of things, I think, you got to make sure that keep this momentum going. We can't come out here flat. I'm not sure.
Massey will get the ball.
We'll get the ball.
Yeah,
I think I think they're going to be in there and want to get a touchdown right away on to start this second half. But I'm sure both staffs are calm and cool in there right now. So just play your ball. That's all it is.
Now, this is interesting. We appreciate Eddie Hunter and the Clinton-Massie coaching stats people that bring us this information at halftime. So Clinton-Massie had both of their scores in the second quarter. It was a 7-0 lead originally by Bloom-Carroll, and that was off the kickoff return for a touchdown on the very first play of this ball game. But since then, they've only been able to amass 91 yards of offense. I'll be honest with you, that surprises me that it's that low.
I'm surprised as well. I thought maybe the one pass play was about it out of all that.
Yeah, 238 yards of offense for Clinton-Massie. So they've moved the ball, we'll say, between the 20 and 20 quite a bit. They've had a turnover, and then they had a turnover on downs as well. So completions at this point, Clinton-Massie is 2 for 3, which that might be, that's an entire game for Clinton-Massie.
Absolutely
at this point.
It is. Yeah, they're averaging probably 3 passes a game, if that.
And then it looks like 5 for 13 for Bloom-Carroll, which is a little below their usual average percentage for completions. Mm-hmm. They're averaging 12 yards per pass, and Clinton-Massie is averaging 23. The rushing side, it looks like it's all Clinton-Massie, 192-29, with an average of 5.6 yards and an average of 3.6 for Bloom-Carroll. But I'll tell you what, 5.6, believe it or not, any NFL team would be doing backflips for that. But for Clinton-Massie, that's actually a lower.
It is.
A lower number.
It actually is.
So credit to the Bloom-Carroll Bulldog defense doing a great job. So receiving 62 yards for Bloom-Carroll, but 46 for Clinton-Massie. That's not something you see every day, every game. Yards per catch on both of those, 23 for Clinton-Massie and 12 for Bloom-Carroll. This is where we're going to keep talking about. 2 turnovers for Clinton-Massie lost, 1 turnover lost for Bloom-Carroll. So that may be the conversation topic for the rest of the game, is who can stop the turnovers that have occurred, what seems to be in somewhat frequency in this first half. Looks like passing is all KJ Benedict, again for 62 yards. Dylan Armentrott has 7 attempts for 23 yards with only a 3.3 average.
Yeah, I think they're really missing what's his name in the background,
Chase
Plants with him a little bit tonight, because he was one that was getting 75 yards a game here in the first 4 rounds of the playoffs, and having missing that, I think that's really hurting them in the rush game right now.
Brandon Dodds is your leading receiver for them in yardage with 45 yards. Bo Weiscarver has 3 receptions for 17 yards. Dylan Armentrout, Brandon Totten, and Andrew Marshall have all had attempts thrown to them, but with no catches. Receiving for Clinton-Massie is Dawson Conley with 1 reception for 40 yards and 1 reception for Carter Frank for 6 yards. So the rushing attack is kind of what you would expect. This time it's Carter Frank because everybody keys on Van Hoos at this point. Carter Frank found that opening on the left side with the score. He's actually got 2 in the game. So it's 13.3 as an average run for him, 80 yards on 6 attempts, 12 attempts for Colton Trample, and 14 for Carson Van Hoos for only 45 yards. So what do you think that conversation between the running backs and the offensive line is happening in the Clinton-Massie side, or Clinton-Massie locker room right now?
Well, I think, I thought the offensive line got a little momentum going there in the second quarter. All right, I think, like I said, they're going to go in and make some adjustments here, and I think you're going to see. I believe it that Trampler or Van Hoos will get let loose one of these plays. They're going to bust it through there one of these times. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it seems like Carson Van Hoos has been, really keyed on for the last few games. Yeah, and credit to the defensive. They understand they've got to stop him. But I'll tell you, and Coach Bartholomew said this in our interview this week, that you got to stop Colton Trampler first, though. I mean, if you don't stop the fullback, they'll just keep giving it to him all night. So tackles so far is Nick Toole, which, again, as the leading tackler you'd expect. He's got 6 solo tackles, number 65 for Bloom-Carroll. Keegan Lamb actually leading the tackle charge for Clinton-Massie with 4 solos and Leighton Bell with 2. And I remember a nice play by Leighton Bell sticking that running back immediately on the line of scrimmage. So kicking-wise, looks like the punt and return, 2 attempts on a punt return from Carter Uten, both fair caught. Carson Van Hoos has a 17-yard return. And then they have obviously 103 yards in kickoff return yardage for the Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs with 1 touchdown as well. Dylan Armentrout actually is going to be credited. It's Bo Weiscarver that actually got the touchdown, right?
Yes.
Number 1. So,
yes.
I think that fake kind of faked everybody out, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. So we appreciate the stats being kept here by Clinton-Massie coaches, and we appreciate Campus Nation for joining us this evening on the live audio broadcast, which we will also be able to tape delay, show this game, hopefully quickly after this game is over per the OHSAA rules. Quick shout-out, Go Falcons, football and basketball from Bart Clark. CM class of 82. Since he talked about basketball, Coach Graves, I think that's a great segue. So let's talk a little bit. Those of you that know Steve Graves, he is our men's varsity basketball coach. I guess, Coach, talk about just a little bit of your thoughts on the upcoming season and talk about a little bit of your different levels. Who's at our JV level this year? We have a new coach. Talk about your freshman coach that's returning and kind of what you see coming up in the next couple of years as well.
Absolutely. Hey, well, we've hit the ground running here since about October 31st. We've had a handful of scrimmages, and my guys are in there right now. Our program, they're getting a mentality about them right now that, we want to get this thing changed around at Massey a little bit. So they're coming in, giving me everything they got, that we've competed really well in our scrimmages, and we're just waiting patiently for our football guys to be done with their season whenever that's done. Hopefully it's after, we're hoisting up a trophy, but we'll take care of that when it, cross that road when it gets there.
Right.
But as far as my staff goes, I still have Mike Craig coming back as my varsity assistant. Luke Roy, he's doing my JV, and then Rod Charlton's doing my freshman. Over this summer, we had to bring a lot of those incoming freshmen up to go compete at a lot of our summer events because I couldn't get a lot of guys to get committed. And they've really shown us a lot, those young groups. As far as from our 7th, 8th, and 9th grade groups right now, they're pretty solid groups. So we're pretty excited about the future. I'm excited about our program right now, what we got, too. So I can't wait to get the ball tipped off here in about another week and see what happens.
So talk about the schedule. And when I got to talk this, you'll enjoy this. So I actually got to talk to a coach from Massey from 88 through 90. He is actually at Mason now. His name is Greg Richards. Coach Richards, the head coach of the Mason Comics for the last 27 years. I'm doing a little bit of broadcasting over there this weekend, and he had mentioned being at Massey as an assistant coach. He was the head baseball coach, the assistant varsity basketball, and then he also coached football as well. The man was a 3-sport coach. But even back then, before Massey was having all the success and the great run that was going on in football, his complaints still came every once in a while when football wouldn't end in right when it should, and these guys were still on the field. Talk about that. Massey is a tough place to coach, and I knew you knew that coming into the opportunity. But when you have a state semifinal team like this, you haven't seen those guys now for what you would have a solid 5 weeks already of practice.
Absolutely. I've learned a lot about this. It's a tough spot to be in, but what you do is you got to celebrate the success they're having now, and hopefully that can trickle into the basketball program. The tough part is you've got a good group of guys right now, and then it's like, where are these 6 or 7 guys going to fit in when they come off the football field?
Right.
That's always a tough spot because they're just not going to be ready to be thrown out there right away, because we all know have played basketball is a different condition. You got to be in different shape, different conditioning, so it's going to take them some time to get in. But I've talked with my staff, and we're going to do a good job of just kind of slowly bringing them on. In fact, we're going to tip the ball off against Williamsburg for sure on Tuesday, December 7th. And no matter what the results are of tonight, obviously. But
so you made some adjustments in the schedule so far. Did you move the Waynesville game?
Waynesville's been moved.
Okay.
That was scheduled for tomorrow night.
Okay.
Hillsboro's been moved. And, of course, we're still waiting for Wilmington. Would be next Friday. Obviously, a win here would push that game definitely back, because we'd be competing for a state title next week. So I can see that game being moved, and then we'd start with Williamsburg that following week. So.
And what do you think of the league? So the SBAC, basketball-wise, what do you see as the strengths of the SBAC league?
SBAC league, it's a really great league. I mean, I found that out last year. You're going to have, I think your front runners right now, obviously until they get beat, is going to be Batavia and Western Brown. Mm-hmm. Batavia brings back 6'8" Wise Bolt kid.
Yep.
When you have that in basketball, you can do about anything you want with that.
Especially in a smaller school division.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
And then you Western Brown, of course, they had a great JV team last year that lost one game, and you got the Novak boys there that are both monsters.
They're not bad.
No,
They're
not bad at all.
Right.
I mean, so
you take a couple 6'6" guys just walking through the door.
Absolutely. So I think those two will be kind of the favorites, but we're going to try to get in there and compete as best we can to see if we can knock some teams off to get a little momentum early.
And you said that you were able to have a couple scrimmages and you're working with the guys you got. Who's kind of, maybe showing themselves in these first couple of games that we'll have to have a conversation about sometime during the basketball, because we will be broadcasting Campus Nation basketball games as well.
I got to give credit to big Luke Engelhard right now. He's really transformed his body in the off season as far as getting conditioned and working out really well right now. And he's come in and has looked really good in some scrimmages. He's probably our biggest guy on the team. I got to give a shout out to Connor Stoles, is doing a really good job right now of just leading by example with our guys. And, of course, Alex Jones decided to come back out. He's a great vocal leader.
Good.
So we've got a good little mix there right now. And we got a couple sophomores we're playing up right now, Ryan Dillon, Miles Thiegy, Jerry Trout. They're getting some minutes. So. And I can't forget my guy. I know he's out there listening. My boy Goldie Muterspaw too. So.
Oh, Goldie, we appreciate all the efforts from the guys that are willing to grind while these football guys are still playing. So we appreciate Coach Graves joining us tonight in the broadcast, sharing a couple thoughts. And like I said, Campus Nation is going to broadcast some Clinton-Massie basketball games. I'm looking forward to seeing Coach Graves on the sideline along with the rest of his staff and some of these players that are excited to get that hard court culture changed just a little bit. If you were to give one word, one kind of mentality that you want to see develop in your players, what would it be?
I'm big on passion.
Passion.
You just show me some passion out on that court. You know what I mean? I don't care what the score is.
Right.
You show me a love and a passion for what you're doing out there, for your school, for your teammates, for the program. I can accept that.
Right.
All right. But if you don't have any passion in anything you do, then, what good is it?
Right.
It's
what's the old
because that's
saying?
the way I coach. I coach with a lot of passion.
Right.
If people hadn't seen me, I wear my emotions on my sleeve a lot.
Fiery.
So, yeah.
We'll say fiery.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, if my guys can be just passionate about practice, about how we handle things, we'll get rewarded in the end.
Well, that actually, again, a great segue. Unplanned is exactly what the coach of Bloom-Carroll said, that he wants relentless effort And to me, that is showing your passion in effort, basically.
absolutely.
Relentless effort. It's part of the pillars when you talk about, he talks about 4 pillars. Relentless effort. He wants to see gang tackling. He doesn't need necessarily the biggest kids. He wants to see the kids that are willing to just push and push and push as hard as they possibly can in order to, kind of bridle that energy and point it in the right direction.
And we talk about that daily. I mean, ours is tough, passionate together are kind of our 3 pillars. And, we right now it's just a mentality with our guys of how you handle practices, games, and just everything, school, outside of school. It's a mentality, and until you find it, we may struggle a little bit. But I think most of the guys are buying in right now, which is huge. And we'll see once we get these football guys here. So.
Yeah, we wish you nothing but
I'm
luck.
excited.
Yeah, the rest of the year for the season. Hopefully it's a great one for Clinton-Massie basketball, as it has been so far for Clinton-Massie football. So with halftime waning here at about 4.5 minutes, we're going to step away from the mics for just a second. We'll be back with you in just a couple minutes to start the second half of play.
So I can make sure that it doesn't get mixed up for the championship.
We appreciate you joining us back for the second half of action here. So Clinton-Massie is going to receive the ball. We're about 2:40 left for this halftime to expire. What do you see, Coach Graves, on the field? It looks like Massey starts their warm-up, Bloom-Carroll starts their warm-up. What do you think the thoughts that are going through these players' head as they have basically one half of football to prove whether they get to move on to the next step, that state finals?
Well, I think, I've been in this spot many a time, maybe not playing for this time, but just even as a senior, and you're thinking out here, man, this could be it.
That's it.
This could be it. And you got probably a lot of excitement over here on the Massey side, but then down on this side, you probably got a little bit of nerves, Bloom-Carroll, or just, a lot of even guys that are just saying we can do this too. So,
well, they definitely have been able to keep this close, and I know that some of the Massey scores at halftime are a little bit struggle for the opposing team, but 14-7, I think, like you said, going into halftime, that they like where they're at. They feel comfortable down by a score. Massey's going to get the ball. If they can make a stop here, especially a 3-and-out, flip the field, then they're going to come back and try to tie this thing up immediately.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I'm no Tony Romo or anything up here, but, I feel like Bloom-Carroll's going to come out and throw the ball a little bit more even from now.
Yeah, so you're no Tony Romo, you said?
No, but I just feel like, that Bloom-Carroll might try to throw the ball a little bit more this half. Obviously, we're looking at the stats. We held him to 29 rushing yards there. So I think Bloom-Carroll's had some guys open. In the past game.
And dropped a for sure touchdown.
So I feel like you might see a little bit more of the pass from them this half.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they come out and try to sling it a little bit more. But we want to send a quick shout-out here. Go Falcons from Crown Point, Indiana. That's Phil Larrick. And if you want to tell us where you're calling from or where you're listening to, we got another one, the alumni, Kevin Gibson from London, Kentucky. Massey boys win big tonight. This is Jerry from Wichita Falls, Texas, listening to you again. You guys do a great job on the play-by-play. I just saw the friend of mine, new ads wage that helped us out to listen. Great supporters. Thank you for all the great play-by-play. We appreciate you checking in wherever you're listening to this Campus Nation free of charge audio live broadcast. We appreciate the free of charge because our sponsors are willing to help us out and make sure that our community members can hear this no matter what level we go to, hopefully the state game next week. So returning the ball for Clinton-Massie will be either Carter Frank or Carson Van Hoos, or do you think the coach has it in him to do an onside?
I wouldn't, but you never know. I don't know if I'd roll the dice, but
yeah, giving Massey a short field on the second half start, that might be interesting. But I'll tell you, if that's the case, that's fortitude like you haven't seen this year so far. He does kick the ball away, and it's going to go to Carter Frank. He's able to corral it about the 15-yard line across the hash of the 14. He's going to be stuck and put down by Andrew Marshall, one of those starting inside linebackers and a receiver as well, with a great hit and a quick bring down of that return. So even below the normal average for Clinton-Massie, that's a great stop on that kickoff coverage, and that may set the tone for the defense for Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs. Clinton-Massie sets up, shifts one of their linemen to the right-hand side. The snap goes to Carson Van Hoos. The overload on the left. He finds an opening back to the left-hand side.
Oh, what a block!
With a block.
What a
left-hand
block!
side, 40, 45, 50, 50, 45, and he trips and goes down at the 35-yard line.
Goodness.
Clinton-Massie with a first down run, and Cody Zantini with an absolute clock clinger block. Oh, my gosh, what an unbelievable hit he put on that Bloom-Carroll defender. I didn't see what number the defender was. Carson Van Hoos was stopped on a run to the right-hand side. He comes back, cuts across the green to the left-hand side. There's two defenders barreling down on him, and Cody Zantini sticks his right shoulder into somebody's chest and knocked him over. So Cody Zantini sprang that ball loose for about a 45-yard run there. So now it's going to be at the 35-yard line. Carter Frank gets the ball this time on the left-hand side, finds an opening, gets about a 4, maybe 5-yard with an extra push there at the end. Owen Trick finishing off that block for a good first down run of 2nd and now 5.
Absolutely. Great push there on the left side. behind old Garrett Vance.
What an
McCoy there,
opening.
but man,
Ooh,
you
wow.
couldn't ask for a better start, man.
Wow, that's unbelievable. So as the emotions are riding high for the Clinton-Massie Falcons, ball security has to be on their mind. Garrett Vance switches over to the right-hand side, so that's overload right in a wishbone backfield. The snap goes from Cody Zantini to Carson Van Hoos. Carson Van Hoos is met immediately and brought down with no gain or maybe a yard at best, so it's going to be 3rd and 4. So it seems like every time Carson Van Hoos gets the ball, they know it's going to him. They know it's coming. So with the keys on him, they're counting on Carter Franks to get the carries, hopefully, in the second half, as he did in the last couple games. That's exactly what Carter Frank did. He stepped up when needed and had a 157-yard rushing the other night. And took the Carson Van Hoos. So the snap will go from the 29-yard line, headed into the north end zone. Wishbone backfield. Snap goes to Carter Frank, left-hand side. He's going to be right at about the line to gain. They're going to call it 4th down and about a half a yard. So 4th down. No, actually, they're going to call it 4th down and about a yard. Yeah, so it's going to be 4th down and a yard. You know that you're going for at this point, and who do you think they're going to call the bell for?
Oh, I think you're going Colton Trampler here, but as you can see, the adjustment Massey's made is they're going with that heavy set now. They're bringing Garrett Vance over on that right side a lot with Lex Russell out there, so you've seen the adjustment that Massey's made already, going with a lot of these heavy sets with just the one tight end on the side.
Huge play for the Bloom-Carroll defense if they can stop this on the opening drive of the second half. Colton Trampler bowls ahead and is able to get the first down by a good 4 yards. So it's going to be movement of chains for the Falcons. Clinton-Massie's going to reset first down, and it looks like they're going to set it at the 22-yard line. So Clinton-Massie continues to help this drive along with a hard push up front, and Colton Trampler finishing the job.
Great job by Frisch and old Lex Russell there on that left side, getting a great push for Colton Trampler to go up behind there.
Congrats to Lex Russell coming out his senior year and doing a great job coming into the lineup there, especially in the double tight formation. So Dawson Conley is your tight end to the left. A balanced line this time goes to, no, I'm sorry, it's actually unbalanced right. 2 in the backfield. The ball goes to Colton Trampler. They stretch the defense just a little bit, and he finds an opening, almost a wide open lane on the right-hand side. So what do you think about that formation? They have only put 2 running backs in the backfield. It's an offset I, a slot to the right. Is that just to stretch the defense out a little bit?
I believe so, yeah, and I think it gets whoever the running back is a faster approach on the linebackers at second level.
Yeah, so far both of those plays have went to Colton Trampler. So this time they're going to go with their traditional double tight wishbone backfield. Cody Zantini goes under center, snaps the ball to Carson Van Hoos. Carson Van Hoos finds an opening right-hand side, makes one person miss. This time he's actually pushed by his own lineman, and they continue to push the pile down to the 7-yard line. So initially stopped.
There we go.
And the entire pile got pushed, but there's going to be a okay, he jumps up.
You got him fired up now. That crowd really loved that. Yeah, it's Garrett Vance showing some emotion there. Oh, here we go, Falcons.
Lex Russell decides whether he wants to stay on the field.
They're staying big package.
They're going to stay big package.
They are going with this. What a great adjustment by the Falcons.
Coming onto the field is number 3, Carter Belpler for the Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs. So Clinton-Massie starting this second half on a long drive so far. They got the ball at about the 22-yard line. They're now resting that ball at the 7-yard line. So Clinton-Massie sets up on the right-hand hash. Wishbone backfield, 2 tight ends. Dawson Conley on the right side. Cody Zantini taking a few extra seconds. Calls the tap. Goes to Carson Van Hoos. He finds an opening on the right-hand side and gets about a yard or so. So it's going to be second down, and it looks like goal from the 5. Yeah, second and goal from the 5.
Oh, yeah, I think you're going to see hopefully a good little steady blast of just that, what they call that little blast play right there, right or left side. Should be the.
Yeah, I do have some information. I wanted to share this, and when we get a moment, we're going to. But an interesting connection.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wishbone backfield, double tights as you look again. Carson Van Hoos. But this time, Cody Zantini goes to the left-hand side. He tries to fake out one defender. He just barrels ahead, gets his head down, and goes back down on the boot. He's not going to lose yards, but he's going to maybe gain only 1. So that was a boot off the fake handoff, and Cody Zantini just didn't see the opening that he wanted to and just buried his head.
Yeah, initially I thought he was going to have that there with the action, but they played really good discipline on the backside there. Bloom-Carroll did, and stuffed them.
Yeah, Coach did tell me that his mom and kind of that whole mom side family graduated from Clinton-Massie. His cousin is Drew Fry, a very famous
he was a
player for
big-time
us.
player,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
and a state championship in track. Split backfield. Carson Van Hoos,
Bump
no
it.
opening. He gets caught immediately, and he's
Number
going to be
one.
drugged down. So that third down attempt is going to go nowhere for the Clinton-Massie Falcons.
Great play there by Weisgarver, coming up from the safety spot even.
Totten
Getting
again.
right through.
He also had a nice play on
Yeah, he
that.
did.
So it looks like they're going to go ahead and set a tee and go for, right in the middle of the field, they're going to go for a kick from the 12-yard line. So this is going to be a 22-yard attempt. The first field goal was a miss, which we couldn't really tell why it was a miss. This time the kick is up,
Yeah.
and it's good. So that's going to be a 3-point score for the Clinton-Massie Falcons to start the second half. But if you're Bloom-Carroll, is that maybe a win right there?
I think so.
Yeah.
I would say that was definitely a win. You could have easily have given up 6 there, but they held true to what they do. They were disciplined and finished off the drive, only giving up 3. But then on the flip side, I thought that was a great drive by Massey. You ate up a ton of clock there, and now you're up 2 scores. So
Yeah, so after basically almost a 6-minute drive there with 6:22 left in the third quarter, we do want to send a shout-out to our friend Trevor Smith, who's usually running the end zone camera for Clinton-Massie, and his son Caden. They're listening somewhere on the Atlantic Ocean on a cruise ship. Somewhere.
wow.
Yeah. And we want to give them
Guess
a
my
shout-out. if they
invitation
can
got
hear
lost
that.
in the mail.
Yeah, I didn't get one either, so don't feel bad. So shout-out to the Falcon team and grandsons Gavin and Marshall Hunter from Mamma and Papball. We'll follow the boys hopefully all the way up to the big old state championship. Absolutely. So nice start to the second half, boys. And then Carter Franks, Grammy and Gramps cheering on the team right here at Pioneer Field. So actually I had a couple people share that with me recently that said, hey, we actually put the game on even though we're at the stadium so we can hear your broadcast. So this time the ball goes to, that looks like a different running back that time. That's 21. So 21 for the Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs is, that's a gentleman I don't have listed. So we'll go to the big. Yeah,
Broden Bishop.
Broden Bishop. There
Yep,
you go.
Broden Bishop.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
So Broden Bishop with the return there. Now, that does make me think, does that mean that Dylan Armentrout, which it looks like he is not coming on the field to start this second half for the Bulldog offense? It looks like Dozier is back out there. Dozier is back out there. So it's going to be trips right with a H-back to the right-hand side, single receiver to the left. That H-back, I think they're getting number 2 for the Bulldogs. Who's listed as Cooper Storts. I think as he goes in motion, I think he might be moving to the line of scrimmage, and they're calling him a false start there. So this time, again, with 2 receivers to the right, he goes in motion again to the left-hand side. This time the ball goes back, and Dozier finds a wide opening. He's going to be able to get that yardage back that they lost on the penalty, in fact, +1. So it's going to be second +2, 2nd and 8.
Yeah, obviously there's a little talk. That's the first time I've seen a running back for Bloom-Carroll really hit a hole that hard tonight.
That was a counter zone play, and Coach did mention that their zone blocking technique is something the boys depend on, especially in their run game. Again, it looks like I just saw that motion, and
he's doing it again.
I actually saw that one this time, ladies and gentlemen. Number 2 definitely, when going in motion, stepped towards the line of scrimmage and then stepped back. So that's something that they've caught him twice in this particular offensive series for the Bulldogs. So they're going to pick that flag up after they move them back 5 yards. It's going to be second now, and actually the yardage they just got back, they lost, so 2nd and 14 with him starting now on the left-hand side. And now he's going to, it looks like he did the exact same thing, but the zone play goes to the left-hand side of the line of scrimmage and met quickly by Charlie Hale, Braden Roth, and looks like Colton Trampler on the tackle there.
I was going to say Colton Trampler came down there on his read, read his guard real good, and came in with the fill. Made a nice play.
And as a former college defensive line, what are you thinking right now when you see motion behind the offensive line? What's the first thought that goes through your head?
Most of the time I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to that side of the motion. Most of the time when you're a defense line, when you see that little soft motion they got, I'm thinking that's where the play is going to go.
Yeah, a person away, ball away sort of thing, yeah.
But then here on money down, 3rd down, you just want to go get pressure.
3rd and almost 10, a little less than 10, and they're going to go on a false start. It looks like a Bloom-Carroll Bulldog on the left-hand side took off, number 72 would be Jaden Ball. So Jaden Ball, a sophomore left tackle, got started a little bit early, so it's going to be an even longer third down for the Bulldogs. So unfortunately, this has been 3 penalties just in this first offensive series. You can see the Bloom-Carroll players kind of holding their hands up and a little bit of frustration and saying, okay, what are we doing, boys? Let's get back to normal here. 2 receivers to the right, that's Totten and Weisgarber.
Taking
One
a long
receiver to
time
the left
here.
would be Dodds on the left-hand side. So they are eating up a lot of clock. The play clock goes down to 4. The snap's going to go to Benedict at 1 second left on the play clock. The right-hand side, the ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to sail out of bounds without a completed pass. So it's going to be 4th and 14, and wisely, I believe, the coach is going to decide to punt here. So 23 is going to be your punter for the Bulldogs. 23 would be Colin Willett. So I think they've traded punters a couple different times this year.
Like
seems like they're
I had somebody else down for it earlier.
trying to find the hot leg, if you will. So the snap will go back to Willett.
Going to play a return here, no rush.
Looks like he's able to catch that. He does not actually call a fair catch, or does he? So it looks like he called a fair catch. He caught the ball. He started to take off, and that's going to be a penalty for illegal procedure on Clinton-Massie. So Carter Uden's going to cost his team just a few extra yards as they march that ball backwards. And, Coach, we've talked many, many times on this broadcast. There are so many hidden yardage. It's going to be a delay of game because he should have given the ball up. So I understand now. So delay of game penalty. So talk to me a little bit about just the idea of hidden yardage. Where are the yards that you lose as a defense or lose as an offense that you don't show up on a score sheet? And those right there would be, a penalty yardage,
your
but
penalties.
one you didn't expect.
I mean, I think it's definitely your penalties. I hate the one where you line up off sides on the defense where your helmet's just barely over and whatnot. Those are really bad ones that you don't want.
This time it's in that offset eye backfield that we've noticed a couple different times. The ball goes to Colton Trample. He immediately gets eaten up by about 6 different defenders. Everybody on the Bloom-Carroll side of the defense, including people on the sidelines, knew the ball was going to him on that particular exchange. Second down, he is able to, as Coach Bartholomew gave credit to the Clinton-Massie backs, he's able to fall forward for about 2 yards. Cody Zantini getting the play from the sideline along with Blake Ireland. We're going to set this ball up at the 37-yard line. Clinton-Massie with a 17-7 score lead right now. 17-7 is your score with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. This time Carson Van Hoos stopped, and actually he's going to cough up the ball again. And Bloom-Carroll's going to have the ball this time, and it's going to be Bloom-Carroll Bulldog football. So another fumble by the Clinton-Massie Falcons, and that could be your turn of momentum in this game.
Absolutely. That one definitely was forced out that time. He took a big somebody from behind really punched that one out from at least my view here.
And we
Costly
see
turnover.
The relentless effort that the coach talked about. When you have a relentless effort, good things happen to you, and that's just one of those good things that happen.
That's guys running to the football, doing that gang tackling. Once you get there, you're taught to just scratch and claw to punch that ball out, and that's what happened.
Clinton-Massie's got to bow their back right now. They're going to have the ball at the 31-yard line on defense.
It's getting a little rowdy here on the home stand,
the home sides are getting fired up here. So Benedict's going to set his offense up with 3 receivers to the left, including one running back right behind him to the left. The ball gets faked to him. It looks like a double pass. Weisgarber with the throw wide open is Totten, and he scores. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
It is. I was going to bring this up in the pregame show. That is his second pass in this playoff for a touchdown. He is now 2 for 2 for probably 30 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And if it's a playoff game, it's something you know that the coaches saw. So right now it looks like Clinton-Massie got caught looking in the backfield. And here's the thing about a turnover. That's when you usually pull the big play out. I mean, that's the double pass. That's the, fake reverse, whatever the case may be. And that's exactly what the Bulldogs did. And to their credit, it's a score, and it's now with a point after attempt coming, going to be a 17 to probably 14 lead. It is good. So the Bulldog fans getting rowdy on the sideline. So you had a kickoff return for a touchdown. You had a double pass for a touchdown. Offensively, you only had 91 offensive yards in the first half. You had another probably, it looked like 30 or so there. So you're only 120 total offensive yards for. In fact, you actually lost a few in the last series because of the 3 penalties. But you're probably 125, 130 for your entire offensive set here, but yet you're down by 3 points.
Yeah, I think you alluded to it, Matt, at halftime. You talked about the turnover thing again.
That's
And look
it.
what happened here, like late in the third quarter. The big turnover, it changed momentum, and look where we're at now. And like I said, all Bloom-Carroll has done is this big play to you. I mean,
we appreciate the 3,500 listeners on our live audio free broadcast. We appreciate Campus Nation and the production staff that Rick Phillips has been all year long for Clinton-Massie football and for Wilmington football as well. So now, do you have the intestinal fortitude to onside kick this?
oh, no way, man.
No way. Okay.
I'm not.
Kick it and let your
defense.
defense, because
Yeah,
right
I think
now
so.
your
You
defense is doing your work.
You're working a little bit.
Yep, so look, it's high in the air. It's going to go to Carson Van Hoos. He gets the ball at the 9-yard line. He's going to make one person miss and find an opening left-hand side. He's able to find that opening and get to the 39-yard line. So a quick return of about 28 yards there. So it's going to go to the 30. They're going to spot it a couple yards back, actually, and set this ball up for Clinton-Massie football. Offensive side of the ball on the 37-yard line. So 37, 1st and 10 for the Clinton-Massie Falcons. So let's see if the Falcons can answer after that turnover, a costly turnover that actually brings the score 17-14. They're in their wishbone backfield, single receiver to the right. The ball goes to Carter Frank. He finds a little bit of an opening and, again, kind of just falls forward for about a 2, almost 3-yard gain, so it's going to be 2nd and 7. Coach Bartholomew alluded to that Coach McSorley would be happy to go 3-3-3-1. You know, that's what he does every time, 3-3-3-1. So that's why they call him a 4-down coach, a 4-down team. So this time Blake Ireland comes over here to the short side of the field, and you see a wishbone look now. The ball goes to – a pitch goes to Carson Van Hoos. He finds an opening on the right-hand side. He's going to have a first down run. Keeps on to hold of the ball, and this time they're going to throw a flag, which potentially in this part of the field after a run like that could be a face mask penalty. So we'll check on that penalty in just a second. A relatively clean game so far other than some false starts by the motion. It's going to be face mask against the Bulldogs. So that's going to tack some additional yardage for Clinton-Massie. That's the 5-yard variety. So it's going to be on the 44-yard line going into the north end zone here. Right to left is going to be across your TV screen eventually when this picture comes up after the game, which we'll provide for you. We appreciate Campus Nation for joining us for this live audio broadcast, and we'll see Keegan Lamb come to the left-hand side of the field on the left hash. A wishbone backfield goes to Carson Van Hoos. He finds an opening on the right-hand side. He goes to the right-hand side and gets pushed out of bounds. Almost a first down run. In fact, they're going to spot him out after first down yardage, so it's going to be a first down on first down. Looks like it's a nice opening off the right-hand side.
That was great vision there by Carson Van Hoos. He tucks it up into the right side and was able to bump it out there to go right off his lineman. It was a great read there.
So Blake Ireland brings in the next play for the Clinton-Massie Falcons. They're going to set the ball at the 32-yard lines. The ruckus is being caused by the home sides. Big stomps are going here. The pitch goes to the short side of the field. He finds an opening to the left-hand side. He's going to fall forward for 8 yards. So it's going to be a 2nd and 2 to start off this set of downs.
Great pull kick out there by McCoy.
Yes,
McCoy did a great job there on that pitch. He got out there, kicked out the corner.
That's twice I've seen him. Yes, twice him drive his defender out into the sideline. So they like a little something they see on this play, which is not in the repertoire on a regular basis. So this time the wide side of the field will be to the offensive left. That's going to continue to push the ball past the first down yard marker, which is going to be a new set of downs starting at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, so good old-fashioned Clinton-Massie football there. And I can tell you right now that's what they're going to keep going to with here on this drive. They're not going to get too cute. They're going to keep hammering it up in there and see if we can get another score.
Zantini trots back on the field as he gets a shout-out from Grandpa Zeke Zantini from the Tree Farm in Tappan Lake. Good blocks means big yards. Teamwork makes the dream work means touchdown. Go Falcons. Absolutely. So right-hand side sees one receiver. That's Blake Ireland. The ball goes into Carson Van Hoos' hand. He puts his nose down, head down, hard run. It's going to be on first down of a 6-yard variety, so it's going to be second.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, and Trick just barreling his guy there. Oh, my
Successful block by Trick and finishes the job.
But just all up front right now. We're going right up that 1 and 2 hole right now and just right up the gut.
Does he want a little syrup for that pancake?
I'm sure Owen would.
Yes.
Yeah, I know I would.
Yes. This time the off-balance line will be on the right-hand side, so power right, wishbone backfield. Play should go to Colton Trampler this time right up the middle. He's driven back by a host of Bulldog defenders. He does get a couple yards forward, so it's going to be 4th down and 2, but it's going to be a long 2. Or is that? I guess they
Still
changed.
showing third,
yeah, they
but-
changed the yard marker maybe prior to the play. I thought that was only 2nd down, so I apologize,
They'll
ladies.
probably let the clock go here,
Gentlemen.
don't you think, here, Matt?
Yeah, if
I'd
you're
imagine.
7 seconds, you
Yeah.
want to flip this field and start with a fresh clock of 12 minutes in this 4th quarter. So we're going to go to our sponsors as we find that time to do so. Sam's Meats, football fans, stop by Sam's Meats in Wilmington, Ohio, and support a locally owned and operated business. Sam's Meats has fresh chicken, pork, deli, cheeses, and lunch meats. Their meat deals are a great way to buy meat in bulk, helping you save both time and money. Dine in and enjoy hot, homemade bar meals and grill items. Sam's Meats also offers catering, party trays, and homemade desserts. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. And, of course, Rick, don't forget the bacon. Liberty Savings Bank. Liberty Savings Bank can save you time and money with historically low mortgage rates and state-of-the-art online banking. Our team appreciates the coaches, teachers, administrators for the work that they do to build the leaders of tomorrow. We appreciate our staff for their dedication to the community. Find out what we can do for you at libertysavingsbank.com. Roscoe's Pizza. Roscoe's Pizza offers 45 specialty pizzas made with fresh ingredients, including their famous pickle pie. With 2 convenient locations in Corydon and New Vienna, we are a locally owned business that enjoys supporting charitable causes and names our pizzas after neighboring communities. The Harvey's Burger and the Midland Chicken Parm. Place on online order by phone or become a driver to either location. Enjoy a Roscoe's Slice of Life.
Love it.
Got
Hey,
it in right in time.
Got a quick score update
Yes.
here. We got Port Clinton now leading your line
Oh,
up
how about
17-15 with 1:51 to go into 3rd.
And it's 17-14 here at Jonathan Alder High School, Performance Honda Stadium. The ball goes to Carter Frank off the left-hand side. He's stopped by a Bloom-Carroll defender who drives him into the ground right at the 8-yard line. He jumps off out of that pile, and it looks like it's going to be 1st down and goal for Clinton-Massie. So that was a successful 1st down run from the 8-yard line. So you've got 17-14. The start of the 4th quarter for the Falcons brings them into the red zone with about 8 yards to gain there for the touchdown. So what do you think, Steve? What's their mindset coming into the start of this quarter?
Oh, I think they're just, like I told about on the whole broadcast, they're just going to keep doing what they do here. I don't see anything fancy. I'd say a lot of it in the 2-hole, 3-hole.
Snap to Carson Van Hoos. He finds the opening in the pile, and they just drive a wall of white that goes down to the right side of the hash mark there. So that's going to be a successful 1st down run that ends about the 3-yard line.
Absolutely. I'm lining that up. I'm running it again, either right side or left side. I think you're having a lot of success with it right now.
I don't see the cloud of dust, but that was the 3 yards that they talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 3 yards and a cloud of dust here. So Clinton-Massie's going to reset in the middle part of the field this time.
Punch it in here, boys.
So it looks like Carter Uden, your receiver, to the right-hand side. Your wishbone backfield. Cody Zantini under center. Goes to Colton Trampler up the middle, and he scores off the left-hand side of the line. Score for Clinton-Massie at the start of the 4th quarter. 10:46 left in the 4th quarter. 23-14 with a point-after attempt to come. Colton Trampler just barrels his way into the end zone, almost untouched, but finishes off a final tackle attempt there in the mid part of the end zone to make this a 23-14 score.
Absolutely nothing flashy. Just good old ground and pound football right there, man.
Absolutely. The snap, the hold, almost the block was closer than it's ever been before there, it looked like, but that point after attempt is good. 24-14,
right.
A 10-point lead for the Clinton-Massie Falcons as this 4th quarter is underway with scoring for Clinton-Massie.
Yeah, the big thing I think is if you're Clinton-Massie, you cannot take your foot off the gas right now. You have to stay locked in and go finish this game. We saw what happened last week, right?
Absolutely.
This could very well happen this week with Bloom-Carroll. They're just as explosive as what McNick was. So these boys got to keep playing here out in white.
Especially on this kickoff coverage.
Absolutely.
We want to send a shout out to Crystal Duncan Realtors of Keller Williams Pinnacle Group. Invite you to give her a call for all your real estate needs, whether buying or selling land, new construction, residential, or commercial. With 24 years of experience in the business, she will help you achieve all of your dreams. Crystal's a Massey grad and ex-school board member, so the community means a lot to her. Give Crystal a call today at 937-725-5097. Crystal Duncan, your hometown realtor, where every deal is crystal clear. Kickoff coverage team, a huge part of this potential fourth quarter for Clinton-Massie. The ball is squibbed along the side. The ball gets into the hands of Weiscarver. He tries to find an opening, but he's going to be brought down at the 35-yard line, so that's where you're going to set up the Bulldog offense. So they didn't try a fake that time. They just said, hey, let's get all the yards we can, and then we'll start and let our offense do the work.
Still don't think if you're Bloom-Carroll, you don't have to press the panic button.
Not at all.
Still plenty of time left in this game, and the way the turnovers have been going, you just never know.
Update Ursuline up 21-17 on Port Clinton. Less than 3 minutes left in the third quarter. So
that was a quick change.
That was. Quick score by Ursuline. Either one of these teams will be facing the winner of that Port Clinton Ursuline team here next week at the state championship in Canton, Ohio. So this time left-hand side seats two receivers for single play.
Ooh.
But he's going to be swallowed up quickly by the defense of Clinton-Massie. Colton Trampler along with Grant Avey. They are going to say that the ball came out, but it came out after he had already been put down. So it looked like some
miscommunication.
Talk about that a little bit. What did you see?
I don't know what really happened there. They had number one, Weiscarver came out, almost looked like he was going to do like a bubble screen. And it looks like the running back and the quarterback just ran into each other.
What's interesting is that left with that motion receiver, that left no receivers on the right-hand side, so that was almost into motion there. So interesting setup, maybe a little miscommunication. The protection's being called by the quarterback, Benedict. Benedict has one running back to his left, a tight end on the left-hand side, three receivers to the right-hand side. The snap, the toss goes to Dozer. Dozer is able to avoid three tacklers and actually has a very nice run there. It's going to be a nice 5-yard run there on second down, so it's going to give them 3rd and 9. 3rd and 9 from the 37-yard line. They're going to go tempo right back to the line of scrimmage, does the Bulldogs, where, like you said, you don't want to see them panic, though.
No.
So that right now they're just trying to get up to the line of scrimmage so Benedict can call the protection, call the play from the line of scrimmage. Clinton-Massie resets its defense. This time Carter Oon goes over to left-hand side. Nate Wildermuth is your right defensive end with no receivers over top him. The roll goes to the right-hand side. Benedict runs forward. Catch goes, but it's out of bounds. So Dodds put his hand on it, but it's going to be out of bounds. That's going to bring up a 4th down and 9 from the 37-yard line. So wisely, the coach is going to go ahead with 9:09 left in the fourth quarter. They think, you know what, we'll get the defense to get a quick 3 and out. We'll get our offense back on the field and get 10 points to tie this ball game.
Great call here by Coach Bartholomew. I mean, this is what they've hung their hat on the last 2 years is their defense. Right?
Yep.
So he's got a lot of confidence in them right now. They're going to get the ball back, hopefully flip the field here, so we'll see.
Do you have the intestinal fortitude for the fake? No, you don't. You're going to kick it.
Nobody
the ball's
back
going to go
deep
over
for Massey.
the head. Yep. I think at this point, Massey's decided that we'll go ahead and eat up. In fact, yardage is our friend.
Yes.
We'll just go ahead and take as many yards as possible. If we can continue to move the chains, go ahead and kick it to the 30-yard line, and we'll just drive it 70
really
instead
good
of
point
60.
there, Matt. Yeah. Absolutely.
We'll see Clinton-Massie setting up on the looks like the 34-yard line. So this could be a determining drive. So last week we saw Clinton-Massie start the second half with an 8-minute drive. An 8-minute drive. I mean, that just, you talk about grind and grind and grind and ground and pound. And, I mean, when you're eating up almost, basically 3 quarters or 75% of a quarter on one single drive, that's just, or 66% of the quarter on one single drive, that's amazing. Ball goes to Carson Van Hoos. It looks like his hand slipped just a little bit on the exchange. He's going to be met immediately. And I'll tell you, they seem to have Carson Van Hoos's number for the most part tonight. He's had a couple nice runs, but but it seems like due to formation, due to the setup of the offense, they know when Carson Van Hoos is getting that ball.
Absolutely, and nothing against the kid, but he has coughed it up twice tonight as well too. So maybe they're trying to just give some guys some some different love right now.
Yeah, a little confidence builder hopefully for him. So unfortunately, that's going to put them 2nd and 9. So an unsuccessful run there on first down, you would want at least 3 to 4 yards to keep on schedule. So Clinton-Massie, after hearing the rowdy fans of Bloom-Carroll start their cowbells.
Blitz.
Yeah, so or a little run blitz. So off the left-hand side, it stops Colton Trampler after just a 2-yard gain. So now you're 3rd and 7. So you're doing exactly like you said, Coach, that they're counting on their defense to go 3 and out, bring their offense back on the field. The clock is running at 8:06 left in the fourth quarter. 24-14 is your score for Clinton-Massie. But right now it's going to be 3rd and 7. You're on the right, almost to the right-hand hash. Are you going to see that bootleg play with Dawson Conley off to the 7 route, which is that flag route to the sideline?
You have seen that. They've ran that play. They have that in their back pocket. So, I mean.
This time the pitch goes to Carter Frank. He's on the left-hand side. He finds an opening, but he's tripped. He's tripped by Wisecarver. Wisecarver's going to take him down, and that's going to be a stop on 3rd down, bringing up a 4th down and looks like 3.
Looks like punt team's running on.
Yeah, looks like they're changing out for the punt team.
Absolutely.
So the defense holds exactly what you wanted to. We've got 2 actually back here. Wisecarver and Totten this time are going to be on the receiving end of this punt of Keegan Lamb. Cody Zantini is going to be your up back protector. 4th and 4. There's no chance, right? Okay, no. I didn't think so, yeah. Snap. Ooh, not a good punt. Actually, the punt's going to be, it's going to have a bad spin to it. It's going to be resting right at the 49. So he didn't get a leg into that one at all. So it's going to go and create a short field for the Bulldogs.
I wouldn't have been.
6:52 is your time.
A penalty or something there, but just
no. 6:52 is your time. 24-14 with Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs bringing their offense back on the field. Plenty of time for them to score. In fact, score twice is what they need, either a field goal and a touchdown or 2 touchdowns to take the lead. 6:52, I said.
Massey needs to avoid the big play here. They just need to make them keep lining up right now.
Yeah, time is not to the benefit of the Bulldogs. So the jet sweep goes off to the left-hand side.
Great play. Keegan Lamb again.
Keegan Lamb comes up and makes a play. Your leading tackler out of the first half, I believe.
Yes,
so, yeah, he's now adding to his tackle score or total there. So off the left-hand side, that jet sweep doesn't find a lot of room, a 2-yard gain, so it's going to be 2nd and 8 as the Bulldogs set up at the 47-yard line. 3 receivers will go to the right. Benedict calls his protection, then relays to the coach, calls the play, puts his running back exactly where he wants him. That's Dozer. We haven't seen the Armin Trout kid in the second half. I hope he isn't hurt. So doesn't find the opening he wants. This time Colton Trampler jumps and leaves him a lane to run. He's going to go out of bounds, and let's see where they spot. They're going to spot that right about the 40-yard line. So it's going to create a 3rd and 1. It's going to be a 3rd and 1 for the Massey defense. So Colton Trampler kind of trying to think he was going to throw the ball, goes up in the air to bat it down, but actually created a lane on the left-hand side for him to be able to run.
Absolutely. I think he did have 28 on the slant, but Nate Wildermuth did a great job
backing up into that.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. Benedict, the snap. The ball goes to Dozier, but he's met, and then he actually drives forward in a second effort to get the first down. He was stopped on the initial effort, but his second effort creates a first down for the Bulldogs. Clinton-Massie giving up another set of downs here, which eats more time, but does allow them to inch just a little bit closer to that north end zone. So at the 37-yard line, 38-yard line, we'll get a new set of downs started. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right. The fake. Benedict tries to find an opening. Leighton Bell with a big tackle, sack loss of 4 yards. So a big play by Leighton Bell, who's had a tremendous amount of pressures in the playoffs, especially. Big play, losing 4 yards on that one.
Great job by Leighton there, getting off the block. Quarterback steps up in the pocket, looking like he's going to get ready to run, and then just Leighton out of nowhere. Great play by 40.
So we do set him off schedule now. 2nd and 14. The snap, the fake. The bubble screen goes to Wisecarver. He's met by, looks like Gabe and McDowell, brings him down right back at the original line of scrimmage. We appreciate all those that are listening. 4,040 fans are out there listening to this Clinton-Massie free broadcast, the audio live broadcast of the state semifinal games of Bloom-Carroll with 14, Clinton-Massie with 24, trying to stop a drive that's been rolling now for Bloom-Carroll for a couple minutes. They're started at the 37 again, so 3rd and 10 is what you're looking at. Benedict rolls to his right. He finds an opening. Wide open in is Dotton.
Dropped it.
But he's going to be – wow, it looks like they're going to call that a catch. It looks like Keegan Lamb and Carter Frank said he did not complete that catch, but they're going to give it to him. So it's going to be 1st and 10, or are they going to call it 1st and goal? So it looks like the tempo offense is set. Right-hand side has 2 receivers. He rolls to the right. It's going to be a design run. Out of the defensive back is going to be Colton Trampler is going to make that play at linebacker position. So he stops that immediately. So it's going to be 2nd down and 10. So they're going to call it 1st and goal. Now it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 11, it looks like. Yeah. So looking over to the sideline is Benedict. Tries to find his play, tells his running back where to go. 2 receivers to the right, single receiver to the left. The snap goes to Benedict. He fakes the handoff. He tries to go for the slant. Inside that time, Carter Uten is able to put his hands on the ball, but
got there a little bit too soon, I think.
Yep, looks like his hip might have checked him out of the path of the ball.
I think that's what they're going to get.
So living dangerously all night has been Carter Uten, but that time he gets caught touching hips there, it looks like, with the receiver. So bringing in an extra large defender, Owen Trick comes into play. On the short field here, it looks like with 4:08 left, they're going to call that 1st and goal now. Nope. Yep. 2nd and goal. Sorry, 2nd and goal from the 6. We'll start play here. This is the old Maryland eye here. Yeah, 3 backs in the backfield. He gets hit hard by Colton Trampler, so upends the running back after just a minimal, maybe a half-yard gain out of that Maryland eye, and they bring back, it looks like, their receiving core to go back to the spread look.
Nice little wrinkle there, but I think we probably had that scouted out. I'm sure that Massey had seen that Maryland eye somewhere on film.
Yeah, I actually watched a little bit of film myself and saw them run that. So. 3rd down and 6. This time, Dylan Armentrout does come back on the field. He's going to be open to the left-hand side. He does get covered up. This time, Charlie Hale tries to push out of bounds. Benedict wide open. Totten in the back of the end zone. Great play.
We lost contain there a little bit. If we can get that quarterback to set up.
Stay in the pocket.
But he was able to get out to the numbers and deliver. We got a ball game, folks.
3:29 left in the 4th quarter. A touchdown to Totten gives you a 24-20 score with the point after attempt coming here in just a moment. So you're skating by with maybe 3 points. Can you go into, if you can secure this ball on the kickoff, and do you have now the intestinal fortitude, or you're going to count on your defense, I think. I think you're going to kick the ball away, especially if you can kick it deep, and you're going to count on your defense to do its job like it's been doing all night for the most part. 24-21 will be your score as Clinton-Massie takes over with the ball, 3:29 left. And if they secure this kickoff return, no matter where it is, the hand is in the game of the offensive line of Clinton-Massie at this point.
It's time to get after it, boys. I mean, they got a chance right here to get the ball, running this clock out, and head on to Canton. But protect the football, you know.
Yeah, the first and foremost thing is make sure you protect the football to keep the ball out of the hands of the Bulldogs, especially in a short field. So the Bulldogs are going to set up at the 40-yard line and teeing it up. I believe that will be for, let's see, I believe that's the freshman that's been kicking all night here. So that should be Trayton McKee. He's a freshman, number 27. We'll pick a number up for you here as he tees up the ball on the 40-yard line. So with 3:29 left in the 4th quarter, 24-21 is your score. Clinton-Massie's going to hopefully get the ball if they can secure this kickoff return.
They do playing up a little bit just in case at second line.
Yeah, and it looks like you got a couple hands guys on there. It looks like Yeah, I think they've set a couple guys up there ready to receive this in case it happens to be an onside. Nope, they're going to kick it away. Carter Frank is going to get the ball at about the 8-yard line. He's going to take the ball up the middle, and they stop him at the 27. So really, it kind of doesn't matter as long as you're not in the shadow of the end zone. At this point, you have now placed the ball in the hands of your offensive line to decide this game with 3:24 left and a 24-21 score. Massey up.
You couldn't ask for a better finish here. Our offense has been kind of our big thing all season. Their defense. Yeah. All right, boys, here it is. Let's
big
roll
on
sleeves
big.
up. I love this.
Yeah, let's go Massey is what we're hearing from the Shockleys. Shout out from the Shockleys saying let's go Massey as they they line up with one receiver to the right. Wishbone backfield goes to Carter Frank. Left-hand side is nothing, absolutely nothing, maybe a yard at best.
Timeout.
Coach calls a timeout. Lets the referee know he's not happy that it didn't get called a little bit sooner. So 3:18 is your first stoppage of play. One timeout down now is Bloom-Carroll. They'll go ahead and start this back up in just a second. And while we have a moment, let's finish our sponsors, the Bin Boss. The Bin Boss, proud to support the Clinton-Massie family owned. We work with homeowners associations, and municipalities. Our system uses 220-degree water at high pressure with eco-friendly cleaners to remove bacteria. So clean, you can't refuse the Bin Boss. Find us at thebinboss.com and go Falcons.
As we got a second now, I wanted to give a quick shout-out to Ogden Road and Coach Wilk. I told him I'd give him a little shout-out tonight. So he wanted to let him know that they'll be watching from Ogden Road. So, Coach Wilk, I appreciate everything you do for our program and all the programs of sports at Clinton-Massie.
Integral
Your
part
hard work
of the
does not
success.
go unnoticed.
Absolutely. Quick update, Ursuline 21-17 over Port Clinton. The ball goes in the hand of Carson Van Hoos. He puts his nose down, and they're able to get about 4 yards on that. So it's going to be 3rd and probably 5, maybe 3rd and 4. They're actually going to call that 3rd and 4. So another timeout, which will be at 3:13 now. So 24-21 is your score. The coach using his timeouts to conserve as much time as possible. And again, an update, 21-17 with less than a minute left in the third quarter for Ursuline and the advantage there. So if you're Clinton-Massie, you're 3rd and 4, and it's a long 4. Are you going to roll the dice and try to pop a pass out over top of somebody, or are you willing to just put their hands and maybe even go, deep into this playbook and try to find something they haven't seen just yet?
I honestly think they could do that, but I think they're going to stick to the ground game. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see old Riverboat Dan, if it's about 4th and 1 or 4th and inches, go for it to put this game out of reach.
Woo.
We talk about it.
That's big.
He's done it before. I think
That's
history has shown he's done big plays like that before. So I'd be curious to see what they get here, though, obviously.
You can feel the press box shaking as the Bloom-Carroll fans come alive and the sidelines jumping up and down. 3rd down, double tights. Cody Zantini calls a play from the line of scrimmage. He tries to get him to jump off sides. Goes to Carson Van Hoos. He falls down. No gain, so it's going to be 4th down. Yeah, it's going to be 4th down, and you're going to have to punt. So just like you've expected them to do all year long, your defense decides this game for you if you're Bloom-Carroll. So Clinton-Massie with no gain on that play. And look, as you said, Coach McSorley's talking about it just a little bit, but he does bring his offense off to the sideline, and it looks like we're going to try to punt this.
It almost looked like he kind of slipped on that last play, too. Like he was already falling down before he got to, I mean? He was going so fast.
He didn't get a good, hard right step in. You're correct. So it looks like Totten and Weiscarver are back.
Fake! It's a fake!
And Blake Ireland
fumbles the football
and gives the ball up to Bloom-Carroll into. So it looks like Blake Ireland on the fake fumbles the football, and the ball is going to go to Bloom-Carroll at the 32-yard line, 33-yard line. So the gamble does not work by Coach McSorley. He does make a big call right there, but unfortunately it goes against the Falcons. And Blake Ireland is needed on defense, so you're going to have to see if he has to come out or not. Bloom-Carroll with all the momentum in the world in order to make this play, this game, basically, the state championship drive right
Absolutely
here.
Absolutely it is. This is it.
Clinton-Massie with a tough call on 4th down. Going for the fake. Weiscarver on the left-hand side. The jet sweep. He goes out of bounds to stop the clock. 2:20 is what's left on the clock with 24-21 as your score. I can't believe that call. McSorley, and like you said, he is a riverboat gambler, but unfortunately comes up short on that and gives the Bulldogs a very short field to work with.
I know they're wanting to maybe save somebody, but if I'm Massey, I wouldn't mind using a timeout here to settle the troops down a little bit.
Yeah.
If
so again, Weiscarver, he wants to run to the left-hand side because he sees an opening. Now he's out of bounds, though. He's out of bounds. They're going to stop him at the 10-yard line. Actually, they're going to let him come all the way down to the 8. So Clinton-Massie is going to have to bow the back here. 24-21 is your score, 2:14 left. Clinton-Massie has got to have an answer right now to the rolling tide of Bloom-Carroll Bulldog football, and right now they just don't have it. So they're going to set this time at the 8-yard line on the left-hand hash. Benedict sets his running back to the right, 2 receivers to the right. The snap goes to the running back, Dozer. He finds an opening in the middle, but the ball's going to be on the ground.
I think this side judge is saying he was down. They're
going to call that down, yes.
Oh.
So they did walk away.
Oh,
no, they called it. They called a fumble for Clinton-Massie and a return. Fumble on the Bulldogs and a return. The ball goes back to Clinton-Massie. Clinton-Massie first down in the shadow of the end zone. So what a tremendous change of events here. Coming up with a big, I believe Leighton Bell possibly got that fumble recovery. But now a totally dejected Bloom-Carroll sideline brings their defense back onto the field. A complete flip-flop of emotion. Clinton-Massie goes from almost being scored on now to having an opportunity with 2 minutes left to potentially put this game out of reach by just simply driving the ball. Successful first down attempts. That's all they need. They're going to actually start on the 3-yard line, so you got to watch for the safety here. You'd expect to go to Colton Trampler. He's met immediately. But he drives his legs to at least get 3 yards on that play. They're going to keep the ball in bounds, so the clock is going to run. There is 1 timeout left still.
Good run
on
there.
the sideline. A great run after being initially hit immediately as he got the ball from Cody Zantini. Colton Trampler pushes that pile another 4 yards. So 1:43 left. The clock is running against the Bulldogs right now. 24-21 is your score. And I'm surprised. I guess he's keeping this in the back pocket in case they are able to get a first down and then stop the clock. Lex Russell gets the play. There's only going to be 8 seconds left, so Clinton-Massie is going to have to call a timeout here.
Come on, get there, Coach.
Yeah, he calls a timeout. He calls a timeout, and that's a smart idea. So timeout for Clinton-Massie. So it's Clinton-Massie's from about the 7-yard line. So the play didn't get in time. Coach calls the timeout. 25-second clock will restart now. So we're going to have 1:19 left with 24-21 is your score. And Coach Graves, is your heart still ticking?
Barely. This is crazy. I've not seen anything like this in a while. I mean, you go from, like you said, the roller coaster of emotions for these young kids, man. Just wild right now.
Unbelievable. Rick Phillips, what do you think from the production booth up there? Can you imagine the amount of emotion on the sidelines of both the Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs and the Clinton-Massie Falcons? Unbelievable ups and downs. We appreciate Campus Nation giving you this live broadcast and then eventually the video on a tape delay. Make sure you like the Campus Nation Facebook page and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So it's going to be 2nd and 7. The Bloom-Carroll faithful are going wild here. You can feel the press box shaking. 1:19 will be the start of the clock here as Cody Zantini sets underneath center. Wishbone backfield. Carter Frank off the left-hand side finds an opening. That's a first down, and he goes down immediately instead of having any chance of being driven out of bounds. And actually, there's a penalty. There's a flag that's come up.
This could be huge.
This could be a big play because Carter Frank did get a first down successful run, but a flag came in, and he slid down, and I think they potentially could be calling. No, actually Massey's moving the ball back. Wow, that's a huge, huge penalty. So what's been a relatively clean game for Clinton-Massie puts the ball back at the 8-yard line. So for some reason they called one of our tight ends, Lex Russell, for a penalty after the play had been completed. And it looks like Massey is able to snap the ball, take it down. They are going to have 1:07 left as the clock ticks, with the Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs still have a timeout on their sideline there. So it looks like 1 minute is what you have left. 24-21 is your score for Clinton-Massie. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 still, since were in the victory formation there.
I think this could be about it.
This could
I'm
be it
pretty
here.
Sure, yeah.
43-42, 13 seconds left on the clock. He's going to take a knee. And it looks like the Clinton-Massie Falcons are going to go to the state championship game.
Yep, they're calling it. Bloom-Carroll's walking out. Yep.
That's it. That's it. Congratulations, Clinton-Massie Falcons. You are going to the state championship after a tremendously hard-fought game, and we apologize. We weren't sure exactly what was going on the field. Unbelievable. So it looks like they're going to let that clock run out. It looks like 24-21 will be your final score as they line up here at the 50-yard line. Congratulations to Coach McSorley and the Falcons, able to overcome that last little snafu on the fake punt to keep the game under control with a fumble recovery on the 3-yard line to seal the game after a couple runs. They were able to get a first down. He immediately goes down to keep the clock running, and then we see him take the victory formation.
Man.
But unbelievable.
This is awesome. This is awesome. Like, I'm getting my first taste of what it's like now to go to a state finals to Canton, and I'm beyond excited for these boys, man. This is great stuff. So
you know what's funny is you would call this an ugly-looking game.
Absolutely.
I mean, from both sides, to be truthful with you, it was an ugly-looking game. You had multiple turnovers. You had some penalties, especially at the end. You had some opportunities that were missed. And wouldn't you know, Clinton-Massie sticks to their guns, does exactly what you said they do. They are who you thought they were, and they were able to get those last couple scores by grinding it in. 24-21 is your score. Unbelievable job by Clinton-Massie that is moving on to a state championship opportunity at Canton next week, and we're going to see if we can catch a score here in just a second. We're going to try to get you a Port Clinton score, and as we do that, we have a couple stats. Coach Graves, why don't you tell us a little bit about how this game ended on the stat sheet?
All right. You're looking at total offense here in the game. Clinton-Massie went for 397 to Bloom-Carroll's 207. So Clinton-Massie was averaging over 5.8 yards per play. In the passing game, Clinton-Massie finished with their 46 to Bloom-Carroll's 129. Rushing, you're looking at 351 for the Falcons to Bloom-Carroll's 78 for a 5.4 average, which we talked about was a little bit below the average and what we're used to.
Yep.
But you look at the big key then, look, penalties here, 3 for 35, and then you had 8 for 40, but the turnovers were crazy tonight. Massey ended up surviving. They lost 4-4, and they were still able to pull out the victory. So
yeah, when's the last time you saw a Massey team first give it up 4 times and then still be able to win after 4 turnovers? That's unbelievable.
It is. It
kind of shows the fortitude that they had. So 27-17, Ursuline is up by 10 in the 4th quarter against Port Clinton. So, could be a change of events here, but it looks like possibly a very tough Ursuline team, maybe meeting the Clinton-Massie Falcons in Canton for the Division IV state championship next week.
Yeah.
So after, you could see Coach McSorley on the field with his team gathered around him, and he's kind of pumping them up, catching them up here on what his thoughts are after this game. Just an absolutely roller coaster ride for us in the press box, for everybody on the field. Absolutely unbelievable. So just a few stats from some of the individuals here. It looks like Carson Van Hoos had 27 attempts for 143 yards, so a 5.3 average. So that second half definitely worked out better for him. Carter Frank, 15 attempts for 119 yards, a 7.9 average and 2 scores. Colton Trampler, 19 for 67 yards and 3.5. So you don't see that. You don't see Colton Trampler with only 3.5 left. And we are going to actually take a second, and I apologize here. We're going to try to catch who that is, but we do see that there is somebody on the Clinton-Massie sideline, the actual plane sideline there, that we're bringing down an ambulance for. So we want to make sure we take care of people as quickly as possible. And we appreciate the Pleasant Valley Fire District taking care of whoever's in need there on the Clinton-Massie sideline. So Clinton-Massie, again, successful in their state title bid and moving on out of the state semifinals into the state championship next week against either the Ursuline or Port Clinton. And it looks like Ursuline up right now by 10 points deep into the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, and I think, when you talk about the Ursuline team, this is a team that I know as the Falcon football staff has been looking at this team now since probably about week 5 or week 6, knowing that this could be the potential matchup. I want to go back to some stats here. Colton Trampley, he had 19 attempts for 67, but those were some grinded-out yards there, and the type of football game that this was. It doesn't look real impressive on the stat sheet, but you know what? You got to give the fullback a lot of love there.
Absolutely. Colton Trampler is the start of this offense. If they can't stop him, then they're just going to keep feeding it to him all night. And there's a lot of games where he's had that success.
And I think they did find something there in the second half, successful early on. We talked about going to that heavy package a little bit with the extra tight end and whatnot. That for that first drive in really helped out. And I think that's where we saw Carson get a lot of his yards there.
Yeah, turn of events there at the very end where the fumble was recovered by Clinton-Massie. There was a conversation amongst the refs, and they did say that he had recovered it before he went down by contact. So the ball is turned over on the turnover by the Bulldogs, and they're able to march down the field enough to be able to go into victory formation and get this victory. And I'm sure at this point feels a little bit like a hard-earned but somewhat of a steal with 4 turnovers. You don't expect to come out victorious in that kind of game. Clinton-Massie was met by the offense of the Bulldogs. 9 for 20 was K.J. Benedict for 125 yards and 29 yards and 2 touchdowns. And on receiving ends, it looks like Totten had 3 receptions for 64 yards with a 21.3 average. So we appreciate everyone that joined us. Over 4,000 listeners at one point for Campus Nation for this live audio, and we appreciate those that actually ended at 4,600, almost 4,640 listeners. So those of you that tuned in, you got to hear a wonderful game. And Coach Graves, we appreciate your time tonight.
Awesome.
Thank you for making the long drive, and I think it worked out great.
Oh, it was awesome. I had a joy, and I thank you for inviting me out tonight. Had a blast.
Thank you for Rick Phillips and his crew here at Campus Nation. We ask you to just keep thoughts and prayers in for whoever's on our sideline right now. We need a little bit of love being spread towards them. So we'll try to get you an update on that as soon as possible. And we appreciate you tuning in tonight to see the Clinton-Massie Falcons go to the state championship game with a 24-21 win over the Bulldogs of Bloom-Carroll. Have a great rest of the evening. Have a great weekend. And we saw them go